Okay, give me a live. Good. We're starting on YouTube. And last but not least, live, right? Yeah. Okay, live on IG. All right, we're live everywhere. Let's start it. Let's go. Here we go. Okay.
Time alone when I am perfectly willing to give her everything she needs. I don't care about her past. I don't care what she's been through. I just wanna feel one night with good love, baby. That's all I wanna do. So baby, if you got that feeling, well, I wanna give you that midnight healing. You know what I'm talking about, yeah. Just turn the lights down low. Come right on over here to me. I know you don't want no commitments, baby. I just wanna set your body free. And I don't care what's going on in the night outside my door. I just wanna get your head right, baby. Give you all the love I got for sure. So baby, if you've got that feeling, you know I wanna give you that.
You're not going to hear nothing.
midnight healing.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I just wanna make love to you all night long. Midnight healing, baby. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
You cannot alter my state of mind. We come together to be alive. We come together to make it fine. Turn the beast when it come to mine. Elevation got my mind racing, trying to break and change, no stagnation. More power to you when you like me. Gold chain on mass spacing. I'm a new creation, man, it's all ready. Free at last, no holding back. White, brown, tan, dark, and black. Choose lives where the heart is at. Man, it's a part of my nature. I'm a beast by nature. Take a chance on yourself. You never know where it's gonna take you. Turned up to the supermax. I just keep rising till the moon collapse and the planet stops saying once I'm gone. Ain't no way I'm ever coming back. Turned up to the
What's good, y'all? Welcome to an hour of power. Hang on, guys, while I got everything situated. Make sure everything's on point right now. Everything's good. Do a quick audio check. Check, check, check. Make sure we're good over here. Check, check, check. Okay. Good here. Good here. All right. All right. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the show. Welcome to an hour of power. We got very limited time tonight, so I just want to get right into it. But since my entry into NFTs and learning about everything about 4 years ago, since getting back into this, since first finding scene since 2021, discovering art, learning about PFP projects and so forth and so on. There's only been, very limited few PFP projects that have actually gained my attention. Right now, I'd like to introduce our guest because this is one of the projects that has absolutely caught my attention and I think is worth talking to. So I don't want to talk too much about it. He's got very limited time. I want to bring him on. I want to talk about him right now. So give me 1 second. Let me make sure everything's good before we introduce him. All right, there we go. Rafsby, say hello to everybody.
Hey, what's going on, Marc? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking.
All right. I thank you. I want to appreciate, I want to say thank you for coming on the show, man. There's in the scene itself, there's just so much going on. Projects come and go, that's the way I kind of see it. But
yeah, definitely.
you've kind of lasted the test of time. But not only that, I think your project is hands down awesome. So I want to get going with this. I'm gonna ask you the most generic I'm gonna ask you the most generic question of the show, which is maybe you could introduce yourself to everybody, talk a little bit about you, maybe talk a little bit about the project, and just bring people up to speed on what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Rafsby. I'm one of the founders of a kid called Beast. We've been working on this project. I don't even know how long it's been. I've lost track of time. Probably close to 2 years, maybe a little more than 2 years. And we decided to build this kind of cool character IP brand and to start off as like a 3D project. And now we're doing like a whole lot more. We're getting into toys, video games, clothes, merch, apparel, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, we're just creating anything we think is cool, anything the community thinks is cool. We're just building it.
Let me ask you a question, right? Because it's one of the things that caught my attention about this project itself was the fact of I'm in love with the artwork, right? Not only the artwork, but the vibe, the feel, just everything about it, right? And so I have to ask, where did all of this come from? Like, it's like I don't know anything about you, and I don't know anything about. I only know what I see and what you show, right? So what I'm curious about is like, how did this come to life? Like, where'd the inspiration come from?
Yeah, so we had this idea just to build we wanted to build like a cool, like 3D augmented reality NFT project. It was me and a few friends, and we basically just started coming up with a lot of ideas and some concepts for what we wanted to see. We collaborated with an artist by the name of Mr. Cat, who's an amazing, character artist. And we took all our ideas and we brainstormed, kind of like the perfect character. And, here we are.
Okay. When it came to, introducing the project, I mean, was this something that's been kind of dwelling in you guys? Was it inspired by the whole NFT world and the PFP projects? And, was it something that, I mean, this is just not something that was born overnight. I mean, this had to be
no.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was a lot of prep work and a lot of build up to it. Like we were prepping the project and working on it for like close to a year before actually launching, and like constant delays because it just wasn't satisfactory at the point where it was to where we wanted it to be. It was a long process. A lot of brainstorming. We worked really closely with the community to develop the character beyond, what our initial kind of scope of the project was. And I was pretty much retired at the time when we started this project. Like I was just kind of like looking at investments and looking at different things to work on. And this I wanted to do something fun. And this was kind of something that allowed me to get creative, kind of flex, every, I guess, business skill I picked up over the years. Everybody on the team is kind of like that same mentality. We wanted to do something just fun for our souls, just something that was just like really exciting and creative. It wasn't like we had to do it. It was something we just like wanted to do.
So, man, everything that I've seen you guys pump out, right? Like I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe things just come out of the thin air. It seems like, and I can tell that, you kind of got that perfectionist attitude, especially from the way you post. And so the way you release everything, you want to make sure everything is on point, everything's working, everything's perfect, right?
Yeah. It never goes perfect though.
Why?
No matter how hard you try, you can't make it perfect.
Let me tell you something from an outside standpoint, right? From a guy just kind of, this is staring at everything that you're dropping. You guys don't miss, you're the second PFP, right? This show's been running for about 8 years. And we have about I think this is episode 388, right? And so, you're the second PFP project that's been on the show. And so everything that I've watched, man, you guys have not missed. I mean, you guys have not. Everything from character design to the 3D creation to the artwork to even the way you guys promote the pieces that even the social media. The way you guys just go about it, right? So now I don't know too much about A Kid Called Beast. I only know what I see, what you show me. And so I understand that there's a game. I know that. So maybe you can explain a little bit more detail the project itself, how the project grew. Was it always about a video game, or did it grow?
No.
Go ahead.
No, it's like a completely organic process. Like we started with an idea and a concept, which was just like a 3D art project where people got files, because that was the thing. Like there was a lot of really cool art for 3D projects, but as you know, if you've been around for a while, like nothing really happened with those. It was just like a JPEG, and that's kind of the end of the story, right? Like you didn't even really get access to like your property, right? That you purchased. So we wanted to kind of change the game a little bit by giving people access to the 3D files, giving people new ways to like show off their characters, because like the standard way was just a PFP at the time, right? And that's it. And I just felt like there was more that could be done. Like we all did. Everybody on the team thought there was like more ways to explore like how to show off your art. Because like if you have art, you want to show it off, right? That's when people buy art, they hang it on a wall. They want to display it. They want to demonstrate it in different ways, right? And PFP was just like not cutting it, I guess, for what we wanted to see. So yeah, we wanted to create something a little bit more functional with 3D files, and something that had like an augmented reality component, so you could place the character in your living room or anywhere you want, and be able to take a photo or video of it and be able to show it off, right? And from that, we built this awesome community of creators that started taking the 3D file and doing way crazier stuff with it, like animating it and converting it into different formats and files. And so we kind of leaned into that, helping the community be able to do what they do best, which is just create. So we started like working on different file formats for those 3D files. And then, once we had those different file formats for 3D files, we started looking at 3D printing. We started looking at, and that obviously led to toys, like naturally. Like it wasn't initially like our goal to do like full scale vinyl toys, because we had never done it before. So it was like our first time building a vinyl toy. And, we did a lot of research, a lot of trial and error, but that happened as a result of seeing people 3D print the characters pretty early on. And then games, same kind of thing. Like we didn't know what it would take to build a game, and if it was even possible with our scale, with our funding, with our budget, with like our resources. And we started kind of deep diving into it. A lot of pieces just fell perfectly into place. And it was just kind of like a lot of, I guess, signs just leading us towards that path. And we just kind of, we dove headfirst into gaming as well too. So yeah, it's been really organic. Like we kind of went in with an open mind, knowing that like we're just going to lean into whatever the community wants to do and whatever like really what presents itself well for the project. And we kind of just went headfirst into those things.
So, and so if I say anything strange, right, it's because I mainly focus on artists and art, right? And
yeah,
I'm not, I came in a little late, but like I started learning about the PFP projects, I think after Bored Apes, after Azuki.
Totally.
You know, that's when I kind of started listening to the projects and figuring things out. From what I'm understanding, people post, you know, 10,000 or 5,000, you know, whatever the number is, right? People, the way I kind of look at it, right, and my perspective is that people see this project, they see, you know, they venture into it, maybe they invest in it through buying a PFP, and then you take the financials and then you build with whatever they give you, and so that's kind of the
I mean,
way.
hold on.
Go ahead.
That's an idealistic way, I think, of doing it. That's not generally what happens with NFTs.
Okay. Okay. So right. Okay. So in my mind, that's the way I believe it to happen. Right. Is that how it happened with you? Like, how did you know what I'm trying? Like, I don't know the background of this. Like, I just deal with artists and I understand about NFTs, 101s and editions, and how they, and you know, how people sell art. But when it comes to these projects, you're the second project. The first project we had on was Rococo, right? And so you're the second project, but Rococo was a little different than yours. You guys have a lot, like you guys got the video game, you got the toys coming, you got the merchandise. There's a lot more invested in what you guys have created. And so I'm just trying to figure out, like, how did you guys manage to bring it from zero to where it was? I mean, was this a project where you guys had to start investing your money? Did you have to find?
Yeah, we did.
Go ahead.
So, as you know, Mark, like, it takes money to make money.
Sure.
So we have to put in quite a bit of our own capital into getting it started and getting it off the ground, leading up to the launch. Because, as you know, like, without, you know, putting some capital into something, I mean, realistically, you're only going to end up with a JPEG, because that's what most people can afford as a startup, right?
Right.
So, you know, starting out, yeah, we put a little bit of capital of our own from all angles, all the founders, yeah, we just you know, we put in what we figured we needed to get the project started, and like what we were doing was quite ambitious, like a 3D project with over 1,500 unique traits, and you know, making something like that work, like it was actually, it's still not an easy task because we haven't seen anybody do it since. You know, yeah, the funding required for something like that is not cheap, because we're not talking, you know, paying one 2D artist to generate a bunch of JPEGs on like a software that everybody can use, like Bueno. We had to come up with, you know, totally unique solutions for how we were going to tackle all our challenges and how we're going to approach like the collection, and making sure we ran into as few errors as possible, because, as you know, like a 10,000 piece collection that's in 3D with files, there's like a lot of, you know, algorithms and different things that need to go into doing something like that correctly, and making sure that there's a limited amount of errors along the way too. So yeah, no, it was something we funded ourselves, and it was something that you know, we felt really, really strongly about, and we continued funding it, you know, way over budget for what we had anticipated we'd spend on it.
It reflects it. I mean, the quality is insanity, right? Like, just everything that you guys have been putting together, everything that I've been seeing, just from the character design into that, the way you're implementing it. Now, if I have this correctly, you deliver the files, and then the actual owner has the ability to customize and create. Do I have that right?
Yeah, so we have a lot of stuff now compared to when we started. So now we have, so like the face filter I'm wearing right now, we have that for all 10,000 characters available to people, so they can, you know, track their face, they can act, they can show a range of emotions, and that can get translated directly onto this rigged character. It's got 52 shape keys, that's what they're known as, and it allows facial expression and eye tracking, as you can see, to happen. We have a fully rigged character as well too, so you can pose it, you can modify it, you can animate with it. We built our own plugin for software called Blender, which is basically what most kind of starting out 3D artists use. It's like the most widely accessible 3D program out there. And we have our own plugin there that allows you to do like one-click animations. We've partnered with a number of different people. One of our favorite partners, Metatope, they've also created a platform for people to generate their own unique 3D content with one click as well, using the character as a base model. We have Yeah, all sorts of formats for the 3D files. And we have tutorials on how to use all of them too. We have like our own like almost like it as like a course or like a school where you can just watch videos and learn how everything works.
Those are the files on your website, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we have what's called our portal, which is accessible through a kidcalledbeast.com. On the top right hand corner, you got the portal, and you can log in there, connect your assets to your wallet, and then you have pretty much all the downloadable files. You have the tutorials there as well too, so you can watch video tutorials on how to animate, how to composite, how to do all sorts of different things, how to mess with lighting. It'll basically teach you how to use Blender from scratch if you've never used it before.
Let me ask you a question because this is something that's like always blown. Like, so coming into the space back in, I guess it was right around the time. It's because I'm an artist, right? So, and then I had this show where I'm interviewing artists, and I decided to hear about this Beeple and this huge sale, right? Everybody's heard about it, right?
That was amazing.
So here, it's NFTs. What's an NFT, right? And so I come trickling into the space. I'm jumping in spaces all over Twitter at the time, right now X. And I'm trying to get a grasp on everything, right? And so over the course of time, and as I've seen the ecosystem evolve, so many, and from my standpoint, right, so many of these exchanges, if you're familiar with exchanges, up and down, right? So from the art standpoint, right? Super Rare, Magic Eden, Object, you got all of these exchanges, different coins, all based on different blockchains. When you were creating the project, right, and you landed in now, because I also saw the Bit Beasts, right? Do I have that?
Yeah.
Right. How do you, as a project guy, right, putting the project together, how do you navigate that? Like, what were the challenges in terms of like, because you never know what's hot, what's not. Like, I mean, look at how Solana has grown, right? And
Totally.
how do you, when you create this, and then of course, look at the way, Bitcoin now, the ordinals, right? Which you created BitBeast for. How do you navigate the ecosystem when it comes to all of this, right? Because the ecosystem evolves at such a rapid pace. Things here today, gone tomorrow. And then here's your project, right? Lasting the test of time, never going anywhere. And then you're continually building on pieces and bringing those pieces into the project piece by piece. Like, you're including all of these changes. How do you, the challenges, right? Like, how do you decide as a project manager when you're creating all of this? How do you navigate the system that changes? Like, it's just a wild, wild west. How do you navigate that when things are changing so fast? The challenges, just maybe you could speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. So Ethereum is pretty much like our chain of choice at the moment. Like one of my co-founder, Nick, he's like just awesome on EVM, Ethereum. He just like, he knows that structure inside and out. And so we kind of rely on him for that expertise when it comes to like the code side of things. When it came to like which chain we were going to do it on, when we first launched, like it made, I guess, the most social sense to do it on Ethereum at the time. And we were looking at a lot of like social analytics and data for like, what we were going to commit to. It just made the most sense for what we wanted to do based off of, Nick's experience on EVM and, the social kind of proof of what Ethereum was doing at the time with NFTs to do it all on Ethereum. And so we kind of stuck with that and just kind of have been riding with that because like we were just kind of leaning into our strength. I think that there's a lot of cool things going on in Solana as well. We don't have a Solana dev on our team. We've really struggled to find somebody on Solana to be able to do something together on Solana. It's just a matter of like, I mean, you know how Web3 is. It's very, very difficult to establish.
Yeah, I know how Web3 is.
And that's the same thing for like Bitcoin. The reason we haven't done anything on ordinals is, for two reasons. First and foremost, funding on the ordinal side would have been difficult for us without having to, sell assets to people. Effectively, like, I didn't want to put none of us wanted to put our project in a situation where we would be forced to dump on our holders to get funding.
Right.
And like, because, Bitcoin doesn't have a way to like enforce royalties for project creators, That was one of the reasons we chose not to do anything on Bitcoin. We've been completely Ethereum for the time being. We're experimenting with Base as well too, just because it's Ethereum based, it's EVM, so it's not like a far stretch to go from Base. Base has that opportunity for like wide user adoption because they have Coinbase wallet support.
Right.
Coinbase being one of the largest exchanges in the world, like I feel like that's a pretty safe bet on their native chain or token or both, I guess. So we've been experimenting with Base. We're kind of planning to most likely stick with EVM until we just find somebody who's just really good on Solana to maybe start running some experiments on Solana. Like I'd love to be able to go cross chain in the future. What that'll mean for like our ecosystem or changing things or modifying things, I don't know. Like anytime you go cross chain, you run into all sorts of challenges. For now, we're just kind of like, we're just leaning into our strengths. We're trying to stay away from things that give us like way too much barrier of difficulty. They make it challenging for us to be able to work effectively when we're spending more time solving problems than we are, being creative and executing. It's kind of like a sign for us to stick to what we're good at.
Has the did the gas fees play any part in like how much does the like all the
So gas fees are, I mean, as you know, they fluctuate. Like sometimes they're fine, sometimes they're terrible. It's kind of like I know we've been just kind of rolling with the punches and just timing things around gas fees too. Like whenever gas fees are way too expensive, we try to avoid things that require a lot of transfers. We come up with alternate ways to achieve similar things. I mean, gas fees, I guess, like are unavoidable on ETH side, right? We'll most likely, if we start doing some mass quantity digital assets, where we're talking more than 10,000 units, like we're talking like 100,000 units or more, we'll look at a different chain to do that to make sure it's cost effective and perhaps that cost not being absorbed by the end user, finding a way to mitigate that cost. We're just kind of we're still kind of in exploration phase. Like we're just we're always open to like seeing if there's better ways to do things. But gas is certainly an issue sometimes.
Yeah, I hear you, especially when it starts getting hot behind the scenes. Rafs, let me ask you a question. I said nobody understands a passion project more than me. Being an artist, you put a lot of passion behind things, and you see the passion come out in the project, right? Regardless of what it is, if it's an artist and you're creating a piece. Sometimes I feel like there's people playing artists and then there's people who really are artists. And then the passion behind it, you can really tell a piece when there's a lot of passion in it. This whole project from beginning to end, just passion, just from one end of it all the way to the other. Right. So for you, right? Was this something that you, right? Because you said it a couple times already that it started off as one thing and then became another, right? When you guys first started, were there thoughts of the video game? Were there thoughts of the toys? I mean, how did the evolution go from when you guys also was there any inspiration from other projects that you guys might have seen? Or while in the space, was there something that might have inspired you guys that took it from the small JPEG that most people obviously invest in, and then you said it a little bit earlier in the interview that you wanted to give more, you felt like you could push more, and then you created this 3D digital asset, and then how did the evolution of this whole entire thing go, like from one end of it to the other?
It's just like a feedback loop, I would say. Like we publish stuff and then we kind of see what the result is and see how community responds to it. That's been like, I guess, the main driving force. Like obviously, we have conversations about, what we see and what we, we collect from that feedback loop. And we ask people too, like all the time. We just ask the community, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this? Like we try to be as transparent as possible with our building approach at all times, just so that we know if we're on the right track and we know if we're on the wrong track. That's kind of been like, I guess, the majority of it. Like starting out at the very beginning, I would say like, everybody was influenced by, everybody who came after Board Ape Yacht Club, for example, I would say was influenced by Board Ape Yacht Club in some way, right? they did it. They demonstrated what an NFT project could be in terms of like community, in terms of like activation, in terms of like potential, and IP use as well. So I would definitely say like, yeah, 100%. Like they inspired us totally. Like from a perspective of like the community building component. The rest of it was kind of like an ongoing like social evolution, like watching everybody work together. Even if they're not obviously working on the same projects, everybody was working on their own projects, and so we all saw what each other was doing. And I think that just kind of was like the organic flow of like, here's one person trying to do something, here's another group trying to do something, and then we all kind of learn off each other, like what failed, what works, things that we tried that failed, things that other people tried that succeeded, things that we saw other people try that failed. We learned from all of that stuff, and it's kind of just like NFTs, I would say, for like large scale collections, I would say are like a very much of like a collective like history, consciousness, and like learning that we all share, so we don't repeat each other's mistakes, and so that we improve upon what we've already seen, do it better. It's just like tech. People always iterate tech. They try to make tech better, more functional, improve its features, make it more user friendly. Like NFTs are very much the same way. It's like art meets tech. You have great art, and then you have concepts and tech and execution that makes that all come together. And people do different things in different ways. There's more than one way to approach every single problem. There's tons of solutions for all these different problems, and there's no right answers because there's no history really. Like the only time you know if there's a right answer is once you try it, once you execute it, and see what the community thinks, see how well it's received.
Yeah, you guys are certainly. It's fun to watch you guys, right? Because I feel like you're blazing a trail that hasn't been blazed, right? And so, how does?
Yeah, we're trying to stay in our own lane. We're just trying to like, we don't look at anybody. Like we stopped doing that because we've like, I don't know. We just focus on ourselves at this point. Like support other people that are doing cool stuff, and just like we focus on like what we're doing best. We don't want to get influenced by other people. We don't want to like do something just because somebody else is doing it. We're just kind of like in our own lane at this stage, and just like focusing on like what our community wants and trying to make the brand better in every way.
So it's interesting because it actually sounds like a collective, right? It's just,
yeah, it very much is.
Yeah, a large group of people, some people throwing ideas out there, throwing shit at the wall.
A lot of ideas,
right?
Like
so
endless pool of ideas from everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's interesting. Okay. So let's go back a little further, right? Because I don't believe anything just happens for a reason. And I don't believe in luck or flukes. I don't believe in any of that. I believe that everybody ends up where they manifest themselves to be. A few years back, is this something that, were you into crypto? Were you into NFTs? Or was
I would say like, yes, from like a long-term investment standpoint. I wasn't like an everyday crypto user. I was just like buying stuff that people I trusted and who were like very involved in it would tell me to buy. So like buying into like Ethereum pretty early, buying into Bitcoin pretty early, buying into early, not under $1,000 early, but early, right, in the grand scheme of things now. Polkadot, like Cardano, like all the chains that are still, most of them are still like top 20, top 30. I got into those, like, I would say now pretty early with how things are looking. And so, yeah, just really passively kind of just buying into things. Like it was not that serious. It was like kind of like small investing that turned big. I was very much involved with like foreign exchange, gold, oil, that kind of like trading at the time.
Okay.
Especially like during COVID, that's what I was pretty much doing exclusively, just like trading every day, like nonstop, just reading news and watching markets. And then crypto was something that kind of, I dove a little deeper into, and like the whole DeFi world, I think 2021, I want to say, maybe 2020, 2021, started diving a little deeper into it, and then discovered NFTs. At first I was like, this is nonsense. This makes absolutely like, what is this for? I didn't understand it.
Everybody thought that.
Yeah. And then like, once I saw like the use case come out of like what Bored Ape Yacht Club did, I was like, okay, now this totally makes sense.
Right.
It's like a club. It's like a community club. It's like, it's right there in the name, Yacht Club, right? I mean, yacht club being a little bit like out of reach for most people, and Bored Ape Yacht Club eventually became that, out of reach for most people, expensive, right? But the idea was there, like a country club, like a private club, like a social club, being able to do stuff in kind of like a way where it was gated unless you had the asset. So you had like a common ground, like a membership pass almost. And at that point, I was like, okay, this makes total sense. We put our own spin on it, I guess.
Now, did this whole thing evolve on Twitter/X at the time? Like, is that because for me, right?
I would say,
go
Twitter and Discord like was the main evolution points for it. Like, it was just a constant feedback loop with communicating people on Discord. Like, we had like a chat room that was on Discord that was just like constantly 24/7, like rapid fire of people throwing out ideas. And we were like, trying to compile as many of those common ideas as possible. And then, of course, like sharing stuff on Twitter, seeing what people thought for like more of a broad outreach.
I was going to say, for me, a lot of the inspiration came from Spaces. I felt like I met some of the best people I've met in my life in Spaces, just sitting, listening to people talk. So I was curious, like, how everyone came together. What was the people that you met in Web3, or what did were you just floating around and, oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah. So I had like 600 followers on Twitter when I started, and when I was working on this project, and I just started like buying NFTs of art that I liked, and talking to the people in those communities, and like just going to spaces of people in those communities and just listening to people talk and just learning about what they were building, and whenever I got a chance to speak about what I was building, I would do so. It was just kind of like, yeah, go support people, they'll support you. It's like, I don't know, it's the same as like if you're trying to be a musician or an artist, you gotta support people, those people support you back. It's like starting out is very much a relationship based business or industry or hobby, like however you look at it. Like, if you want to get support, you got to support people, and you'll get that kind of. Well, you get out what you put in, right?
Well, so it's interesting, right? Because it seems like the whole community is connected in one way or another, right? It's not like it seems like you were investing in the financials at the time back in 2017. I loaded up on Cardano, loaded up on XLM. There were things that I liked. That Ripple was a big thing back then. It's just looking around, making small investments, right? And then somehow, this Beeple thing hits the news, and I never knew anything about NFTs. Wasn't aware of Bored Apes or anything that was taking place. Stumbled into X, stumbled into Spaces, and now I'm in this brand new world that I don't know anything about. I don't even know what this word rugs mean. Everybody, I wear rug, and I don't even know what it means. I'm trying to figure it out. And then it turns out that, I'm focusing on these PFP projects. I think it's the only thing that's available. But then I learned that there's a whole world of artists selling art on all these different exchanges, and then holy shit, like, look at all the opportunity here just sitting around here for artists. And now you're actually talking about how you might have invested or picked up a couple pieces of art. And now, look at the relationships that have formed from it, right? And so I kind of feel like we're all in the same space. We all kind of have the same story. We might not all know each other, but it's interesting to look around the space and see the projects that have lasted the test of time, especially through the bear market. I mean, it's got to be tough.
There's not that many. There's honestly not that many.
Not that many at all.
For how many there was 10, 20, 30, 50 times more projects.
Sure.
There are now that are still active, right? Like, and the ones that, a lot of the ones that are active, like, they moved on to like other things. They're focusing on like the money side of things right now. Like, meme coins are huge, obviously, as you know. Like, that's all everybody talks about on Twitter, right?
Right.
On X. And so like a lot of people went in that direction because like mindshare, right? Obviously they want to stay relevant, stay on top of that stuff, and they want to make money, right? So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's difficult to know like what the right answer is for what you should be doing if you're a project. Like, I can't speak for anybody else. Like, money's money, right? Like, you have certain expenses, you have certain things you want to pay for. Some people, they feel they have an edge and they feel they can, make a lot of money. Maybe they'll spend it back on their project later. We don't know what that looks like yet. We don't know if like maybe they'll just stay making money because they'll like enjoy making money more than they enjoy building a project. Because it's like, meme coin is obviously instant gratification in a lot of cases, right?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
you buy in, and 2 days later you could be a millionaire, right? But yeah, like building a project like the traditional sense like takes time. It takes a lot of effort. You have to build out a lot of components. It can possibly be more rewarding in the future, but I mean it really depends on like what you build, how you execute, and how you track that mind share. Whether your focus is even the same as like trying to appeal to purely NFT collectors, or if you're looking at the brand and trying to bring all new people into Web3, into crypto, into NFTs as a whole.
Did the bear market affect you guys at all, or did you just?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we were building during the bear market, right? So like we launched our project in the bear market. So I would say like it's feeling better now, because like it was basically we're just in the dumps building like in the worst possible time. So it was kind of like,
You're working through the valley.
yeah, it was like trying to build a house in a tornado basically the entire time. So now it's like tornado's gone, and so now we're like, okay, cool. Like this is on easy mode compared to what we were at before, I guess, right? Like we had like cancel culture. We had all sorts of like things to like worry about at the same time as we were building an NFT project in the bear. Also like a lot of liquidity leaving the market because of all the rugs too. Like so like you fall into different like categories. You get lumped in with other situations and other things just because like other people do things that aren't good or ethical. You get lumped into the same kind of category. It's like, yeah, we had a lot of challenges to overcome, but like I feel like we already we overcame them, and now we're just our kind of building in a prime situation right now where we don't have a lot of distractions. We don't have a lot of like obstacles. We're just cooking and delivering now, and that's like all we like doing. We just want to build and deliver it, or whatever we're building for our community.
It's interesting, right? Because there's a lot of projects that did very well. A few projects that did very extremely well, but they did very well in the bull. And then here you guys are chugging it through the bear, right? And you haven't like really experienced a project launch in the bull. And
No, yeah,
now you're kind of wandering into the bull with this project sitting ready, and look at how far you guys have come, right? The website, the assets, the classes, the connections. You technically, like you said, you've been building through this valley, and now you're kind of like wandering to the mountaintop. And now everybody's going to come pouring back in, right? Because there's good times are here again. And here you guys are.
we'll see, right? Like nobody knows for sure. That's a speculation, right? Everybody says like, oh yeah, funds will trickle from Bitcoin to altcoins to meme coins to NFTs, right? Because a lot of people find that NFTs are like trophies for meme coin profits, right? There's something to flex, like because nobody gives a shit about your watch or your car for the most part, because everybody in Web2 world who's made it has that kind of stuff, right? So I don't feel like it's like the ultimate flex, but like I don't know. I honestly like the most like what Elon Musk always says, the most unlikely funny outcome is probably like the most logical outcome for what's actually going to happen, right? Like what you think is not going to happen is probably what is going to happen. I have like I don't know. I just go into like an open mind and know that whatever happens, like we'll ride it out no matter what. We have like our own plans for how we're going to tackle different things, and like we're not necessarily relying on a bull market to succeed. Like we're building very much in like a hybrid sense, like where we're building stuff for Web3 and for crypto, but we're also building stuff for Web2 and like the traditional sense as well, where like we kind of want to diversify and not put all our eggs in one basket and make sure that we're able to capitalize on whatever opportunity presents itself to us.
I think the best approach to becoming successful, right, in this whole entire world, whether it's bull or bear, is to make sure your funds are in check, right? You want
100%. That's like the top thing to do if you're running a project. Make sure your funds are in check.
Yeah, you got this idea. I don't think you guys, and especially now meeting you and talking to you, you don't strike me as the type of guy that's going to rely on who's going to buy what PFP in order to become successful. Because, it sounds like you're going to put a plan.
Yeah, we have like a runway, a project plan, and everything is like, we're just basically sticking to that roadmap. Like, beyond that, it's a matter of like, we have everything pretty much like a loose plan, I would say, for the next 3 to 5 years, and then like immediate plans for the next 1 to 2 years. So like, yeah, we're not like stressing out over stuff. Like we stick to a very, very tight budget. It's controlled, and we're not overspending where we don't need to, where there's no value. There's no value add to the project. There's no benefits to the community. We're not wasting money on nothing. We're in a very fortunate, lucky situation. Like everybody who's on the team is I would say like quite successful in terms of like, where a lot of people start NFT projects. So we're not in a situation where we need to like pay ourselves like high salaries or like, buy rich for the first time stuff. Like most people do when they come into money, they experience wealth or money that they've never experienced before in their lifetime. And so like the urge to, just buy stuff and treat themselves is very strong, especially when you're like a kid in your 20s and you're like, holy crap, I have all this mint money. They don't look at it from the perspective of like, this is what you're supposed to be using to build the project. They look at it as like, I just got paid. Right. And so, they'll go on spending sprees. They'll gamble into things with, community money. They'll buy meme coins with those funds. Like they'll do all sorts of stuff that I personally don't think you should do. There's not really like a rule that says you can't. It's just like a matter of like principle, I would say. Like, what was the objective? What did you sell people on? So, and what are you doing? Was buying meme coins, was like spending, exorbitant amounts of money on yourself part of the roadmap? Was that like transparent to people? If not, then like, that raises like questions. Like from my perspective, I'm buying something based off of like a roadmap. I would not want to see those kind of things or discover those things within a level of me finding out on my own without, founders or teams sharing that information with me. So yeah, we're in a very fortunate situation that like I already have everything I ever wanted in my life from like an ownership standpoint of like physical goods, like real estate, like stuff like that. Like I don't care about like going and like buying flashy things and showing it off to people. I've already did that at a much younger age, and like to me it wasn't like fulfilling. And my founders are like very much the same way. Like, once you do it once, so when you're very young, you're kind of like, that was cool, very short-lived high, I guess. Now we're on to like bigger and better things. Like the best satisfaction is like putting a lot of effort, time, and energy into something, and then seeing the outcome materialize into something that can like be appreciated and enjoyed by like, hundreds of thousands of people. That is like a way more satisfying outcome of like effort and reward than like having some like nice things, right? Like the novelty of nice things wears off very quickly.
Even more so, right? It's if you're a potential investor out there and you're looking to, buy into a project, I would imagine that you would want to do your research behind the team, where the money's going, how the steps they're using to create and build the project. You want to make sure that they're not, like you said, not expending the funds on ridiculous things.
Yeah, and demonstrating proof of work too, right? In the sense of showing progress as it's happening. I think that's very important too. Like a lot of people like to just like stay silent and like, yeah, there's that approach too. Like you can do like the build up hype anticipation by not saying a lot approach. And that can be really good. It can be, very great for, driving hype towards what people anticipate will be a release. It can also backfire. We've seen it backfire for projects too, like where the outcome was not as satisfactory or enjoyable as like the hype made it out to be. And then it casts doubt in that situation, right? And then you have to work 10 times harder to, like, rebuild that hype or regain that trust. So we've been kind of doing a very like, I guess, a hybrid approach lately, like where we don't reveal what's coming. We drop hints at what's coming, but we also show a lot of proof of what we're working on, like day by day,
right?
Like so that people know the state of progress, and anybody who's really following closely, they can piece together everything that's being built and make sense of it as kind of like a progression, a story, right?
Well, I mean, it's clear, right? So, and you look at anywhere, anywhere on the social media on the project, and you see the evolution of the project, right? It just so happens that, yeah, you call. I'm a street guy. I like street art, graffiti. It's in my nature. I'm an airbrush artist, a photographer,
Awesome.
very street and urban orientated. So like obviously your project caught my attention way back when, but then as I'm watching and I'm watching you post and I'm looking through everything and I'm paying attention to everything, the evolution, right? As just watching the evolution of you guys, and I think it's the evolution that really shows the quality, the test of time. I mean, you're not stopping, and you.
No, we have a very very like fundamentally strong brand. Like our character identity, our world identity, our universe identity, like the way we portray our animations, our characters' movement. We have a very strong team that's like been spending a lot of time on establishing what that looks like and determining like how we move forward. Like everything we're building, we're kind of like I like to liken ourselves to like we're like early stages of like Lego, like the brand Lego,
Love it.
where
I
you
love
have the
it.
Lego Man, right?
Yes.
We have our version of the Lego Man, the kid called Beast, and then now we're in the stage of like building the world, the building blocks that are gonna allow us to curate stories and create stories and environments. So we're building out all these different worlds. Like we're building out a replica, our version of like a New York. We're building our version of a Tokyo, our version of a
Oh, that's
London,
that's what the
a
3D
Paris.
assets on your page are,
Yeah,
right?
so we're basically building out these environments that our characters can reside in, that people can animate scenes in, that people can build scenes in, that we can create gameplay and flow in these scenes. We can create animation in these scenes and continuation in these scenes. It's no longer just a character on a blank canvas. It's now characters embodying a lot of different worlds and environments that people will be able to interact with. And I think looking at it from that lens, Lego has evolved into like this, mega brand because they just kept, they kept building upon the Lego Man. They kept building more worlds, more building blocks,
Movies.
people to, yeah,
Yeah.
movies. Like they can curate it themselves,
Lego
but they can
Land.
also, their community can curate it for them as well. There's people that build stuff that is, profoundly more amazing and incredible than
Right. Yeah.
stuff that anybody who works at Lego could even build themselves, right? Like there's enthusiasts out there that could build you a Lego setting or scene that is way more impressive than anybody who works as an employee at Lego could do themselves, right? And
Right.
so we're kind of like building this thing in tandem where users can create stuff, become a part of the action, become a part of the spotlight, a part of like the creativity. They can shine, and we encourage them to do that, and we spotlight artists to shine. While we're also giving them all the building blocks while we're building and curating, a portion of the brand ourselves. It's kind of like there's two parallels, and we're just kind of trying to ride as much as we can in sync and just make both sides complement each other as much as we can.
Hey, you guys doing a great job at it. Hey, we're burning time quick. You want to go over to the computer and maybe I'll split screen you and
Yeah, sure.
yeah,
Yeah, we can talk
let's
about a few
show
things.
these guys what you got going together here. Um, Lego is an one hell of a brand to
Oh yeah,
model after, huh?
impressive brand, right? And like obviously, anybody can make the comparison to Disney, but Disney's like, on that tier above like everybody at this stage, right? Like Disney is like that mega tier. So like yeah, we could obviously make the comparison that we're early stages of Disney, but like that's so open to translation because Disney is just like such a wide enterprise. They do so many things now, right? Whereas Lego is like I think more simplified explanation. Like they got the character, they got the building blocks. You can DIY or you can watch other people do it, or you can watch them do it themselves through the movies, through the media, through the games. So yeah, much easier comparison I think to follow.
Disney itself, I don't know, man. I feel like Lego dwarf. Well, I mean, I know Disney's a much bigger entity, but if you ask
Yeah,
me,
because like Disney now is like Disney, it's Star Wars, it's like all the legacy films, Pixar, it's Marvel, like it's got its own streaming service. They do movies, they do TV shows, like they do everything now, right? And they own so much stuff that people don't even realize they own large
sure,
percentages.
sure. I mean,
Right?
they bought movie companies.
Yeah, they buy into huge gaming companies, gaming engines. They buy all sorts of stuff.
Okay, so what I have going on, right, is I have you split screen right now, and I have your website. I have Kid Called Beast open up next to you, and so I don't know where to start because there's so much to unpack here. Maybe you want to just take us through a tour through the site, some of the stuff that you guys talked about.
Yeah. So yeah, like our website, we recently, redid our website, made it a little bit more, I guess, up to date, a little bit more user friendly on like what we're currently building. We have a blog section there that kind of outlines, all the different kind of milestones as we achieve them, as we post them, as we release them. And then, beyond that, we have the portal where people can connect and gain access to their digital assets. They can trade, they can, raffle for winning assets as well too. That's kind of another little bit of an advantage that we have as a collection, is we give away assets every single week. And like, if it was just like a, whatever, like a $10 asset, it's not a big deal, I guess, for most people. But we're talking something that's valued at like, on average, like 500, US dollar, I guess perceived value on, on like a real world, I guess, value. And we're giving away like 3 of those every week. So like $1,500 worth minimum of prizes every week. And we're just giving that out to people for free, just by entering raffle if they already own one of the collection, which is really cool. Most projects don't do that kind of stuff. When we launched the project, we had we made a decision to store a reserve in the community vault, and that was something we decided to do so that we'd be able to, further, be able to do things for community members, be able to gift, assets to artists, be able to onboard, strategic partners, strategic individuals, and be able to just give them away to people who just like believe in the project. I think it's a nice, reward to be able to win something like that. And so yeah, that's something that we did. We held back over 1,000 Kid Called Beasts in the community vault. A lot of people said it was a terrible idea that we're going to rob, we're going to dump on our community.
Right.
Full transparency. They're all there still. Over 2 years later. So I mean, it's nice to be able to put those like naysayers, I guess, to shame, and that they they had us wrong. But like, I don't blame them also, because 99% of the time they probably would have been right. Calling projects out on.
Sure. I mean, in the beginning, there was hundreds, thousands of projects.
So I don't blame them, right? Like, it's pretty, like, I've been rugged at
People
least
have a lot of
50 to 100
PTSD
times
from this.
myself. Yeah, PTSD, right? That's the perfect way to describe it. like pretty much every project I was like I would say under 10 that I hold that are still actually like actively building cool stuff that I still support. The rest are just like a learning experience, is the best way I can phrase it, to be optimistic, right? They're just learning experiences. They weren't anything else but that. And like also kind of like a perspective of like what I never want to do, what not to do, like kind of like red flags for me of like what to avoid in our own project, right? And so yeah, it's been good. It's been a nice experience. I think like as a general rule, people in the community are happy. We're delivering on our promises, and that's like what's always been very important, like in terms of like pricing of assets and stuff, because obviously people are here for investments increasing in value. Like, community does what they can. They work really hard. They work together on keeping the assets valued at a fair value. And I think as they maintain that coordination, that asset should ideally increase in value, right? We try to stay out of like floor price conversations with the community. We leave that like completely organic and let them do that for themselves, in terms of not manipulating floor price, not changing it, not doing any of that kind of stuff, or like buying it or like inflating it. Like, we just let the community do their thing on that side of things. Because I mean, ultimately, when you look at it as a resale market, a third party marketplace, you have to, I mean, ideally just leave things organic. Let people decide stuff for themselves. Let them decide, the assets value for themselves. So yeah, I think it's like we're in a good place right now. Like, we're just, constantly just building, unique things.
You're
and
in
I think
a very
more
good place. Hey, Raps, let me ask you something. So Lego, right? You go to the store, you
Yeah.
pick up a Lego set, maybe you pick up the Movie Maker set, you tap
Yeah.
into the website, so forth and so on, right?
Yeah.
Physical product leads you to the digital world. You get involved
Totally.
like that, right? How does maybe you so for someone who doesn't know, like let's someone who's good clicks on the link, sees this, maybe sees this video for the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to explain just a little, because the B side, there's the site, there's these all these little beats. Maybe you want to break down a little bit how this whole thing works.
Yeah, totally. So we started building some apparel. Hoodies, hats, t-shirts, a bunch of different things, and they all come with this little. Let me just position the camera. There you go. They come with these little patches and these chips inside them. So you can tap your phone to this chip, and that leads you to like the digital counterpart of whatever it is you're wearing, right? We have a plan basically to be able to do like unlocks and activations through these physical items. So, like for example, if let's say I'm just kind of coming up with this on the fly. Let's say you're wearing a hoodie, being able to like tap that hoodie with your phone, get maybe a coupon code or an activation code that you can use in a different place to be able to activate something else in the digital realm. For example, be able to wear the same hoodie on your character in game. We're building things with that in mind. Same with toys. We want to be able to do like digital unlocks through physical items. Be able to like, let's say, we have a ski mask, for example, that has a chip built into one of the ears. Like one idea I have is to be able to do like, let's say, a private chat where everybody who has that ski mask and taps their phone to it can enter a private chat, and now they're like in this collective community chat of everybody who owns that particular item, where they can network with each other, and they're kind of bound by like a common interest in an item or like an asset, right? So like a lot of cool things we can do by incorporating like physical things like chips into goods, and we're gonna be diving deeper into exploring like what that looks like, because like we're a crypto project. Why don't we want to be trying out cool technological things to make experiences that everybody already is familiar with more improved or better than they all already are, right? Like last thing I want to do in my world at this stage is like buy another black plain t-shirt that doesn't do anything. Like I got hundreds of those. I don't need a single other black t-shirt that doesn't do anything. Like I want to have stuff that does cool things, that activates cool things, that has additional features. And so like I haven't been able to find much stuff that does that in the world. So like you can't find it, build it, right? Make it. That's what a lot of people do. That's like how a lot of entrepreneurs think, a lot of companies are formed, is like they're looking for something for themselves as a consumer and they can't find it. And so when they run into that error or that problem, then they're like, okay, well, if I can't find it, I'll just make it. That's how a lot of companies get formed, a lot of businesses get formed. And so we're kind of like in that stage where we're just like experimenting, trying things out, a lot of research and development, figuring out what we can do, what works, how to accomplish it, how to test it. And we're like, that's kind of our intent. We want to build things that are physical, that can have a digital counterpart to them, or a digital function, or an activated feature that doesn't already exist.
Hey, Ralph, I just want to make sure I got the right thing up. It's the apparel on the website, right? I have,
Yeah.
right. That's what you're speaking about, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like the hoodie I'm wearing right now, the shirt I'm wearing, not the hat I'm wearing right now, but normally the hat I wear also has a chip in it. So like, yeah, we're able to do a lot of things because they're chipped. They're upgradable, so we can add functions and features to those at any time. Like whether that's a private chat, whether that's NFT mint, whether that's an asset unlock in game. Like there's a number of different things we can do. Like we could even use those technically as like, let's say we were to do a pop-up event somewhere, your hat that you wear or your ski mask that you wear could be your ticket in, right? You just get an item at the door, verify, it's the real deal, and you would get in based off something like that. So like,
go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, finish.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like, not to mention obviously like being able to identify that as genuine, right? Because there's, when brands do build, there's a lot of counterfeits, right? And so like being able to have something as simple as a chip in your item allows you to easily avoid counterfeits.
I always wondered, right? Because they always talked about like the bored ape parties, but like I always thought like you would have to show your ape to get into the party or prove your proof of ownership, right? And so,
Yeah, so they usually use like a verifying, like a wallet
ah,
software to verify that you actually own the contents of it. I think like a lot of them used, don't quote me on this, but Wallet Connect.
right,
And so like that's cool. Like it's an app based system, but then like you run into issues of like how many times do you want to be connecting your digital assets to third party softwares? Like it's a point of paranoia for a lot of people, especially if you have your assets like safely, tucked on a ledger or different devices. Like having to connect that kind of stuff in person while you're like at a party, getting drunk. You have all this like valuable stuff on your phone. If you lose your phone,
yeah, yeah.
somebody somehow gets into your phone, they can
Somebody
transfer your.
robs you.
Yeah, somebody robs you, or
Yeah,
like they know they like how like New York, like or any big city, right? Like
sure, sure.
you have 1,000 people attending a party that are generally millionaires. You know
Right, right.
how hard
That's
would it be to
I always
follow somebody
curious.
home to a hotel room and hold them up at gunpoint and be like, transfer this to my wallet right now, or you're dead. Like extreme case, just like a total hypothetical
Right,
extreme
right,
case.
right.
Like people do that all the time because, like, especially when people are flashy, right? They show off what they have and where they are, and they're like flexing. And I'm getting drunk at this party. Like you're a target. You don't even realize it. Like you're showing people that you're rich and you're drunk at a party in real time on Instagram or Twitter or wherever you're showing people. And like anybody who's watching you or has an eye on you who's like maybe down in the dumps, nothing to lose, like you are like payday for them, right? And so many people move that way online on social media because they don't even think about that because they think like they have that money euphoria feeling and they're unstoppable and no one's gonna jump them, no one's gonna do anything to them. It's like a really false sense of security. I don't know where it comes from for people, but the way I see people move on social media is like absolutely idiotic. And you always see them like getting robbed. Celebrities get robbed. They have bodyguards and stuff. They still get robbed. So it's like, I don't know. Like back to the original point is like make people connect wallets to stuff that's highly valuable at a party. Maybe not the best way to like solve that problem. I guess from like a safety standpoint, like if you're trying to avoid as many risks as you can, it's better probably to not make that like a point of like requirement.
Yeah, the chip thing is a great idea.
And it's like super cheap, right? Like you can stick a chip in something for like 50 cents to $1, and you're like you can stick it in anything, right? There's a way to
Sure.
put it in a shoe, a hat, a shirt, like a hoodie, like whatever you want, really. Sticker format, like a button format, like these things are cheap. They're highly available, easy to program, and I don't know why more companies are just like employing that. Everybody who's got like a newer gen phone, anything that's in the last like 3-4 years has NFC tap built into their phone already. So like, why not utilize stuff that everybody has on them? Everybody carries their phone on them, right? So if you have a chip reader there, and all you have to do is add a little inexpensive piece of hardware to whatever you're manufacturing, be it sew it in or stick it on sticker format, like you just leveled up whatever your product is, right? Not to mention like data you can collect, right? And I'm not talking about like people's house addresses or anything like that, or like their personal details. I'm talking about just like general location data. So like if you have people tapping these things all around the world, well now if you maybe have 1,000 fans in New York, or 100 fans in Beijing, or 500 fans in Paris, like wherever they're located, you can have a general idea of where people are situated, so you can do follow-up content for them. You can do whether it's a pop-up event or a pop-up promotion or something that's specifically geared to the people in a region or area. You have that data, right? Whereas like somebody buys something from a store, black t-shirt for example, and a pair of white sneakers, you don't know shit about them once they leave the store, right? Especially if it's like a third-party retailer, right? Like that's just like carrying like a Foot Locker. I don't know if you guys have Foot Lockers where you're at.
We do, we do.
Yeah, any of those kind of brands. You go buy shoes or a t-shirt or whatever from one of those stores, like Nike or Adidas or any of those brands, they don't have any information on you once you leave the store. Like you're just wearing like a blank, like anybody can put it on and wear it, black t-shirt, anybody can wear those same sneakers. Like it's like an anonymous wear, right? Like it has no future function after it, like eventually, you know, doesn't fit you or you move on to something else. Like it has no future function, no collectability really, especially if you plan to wear it, right? Like those shoes lose their value as soon as you put them on, right? And their function depletes as you wear them out, right? So like, I don't know. I just think that there's like better ways to do things, and they're not like there's not really an excuse not to do them because, you know, we're a very data driven society, and it's very cheap to be able to upgrade, you know, everyday goods with, you know, things like that are super accessible like chips.
So, okay, that's the apparel side of it, right? Now, if somebody wants to get involved with the Beast side, or they want a customized character and they know nothing about any of this, how do they get involved?
Yeah, best first way I would say just like get an NFT. We have two tiers of NFTs. We have the Bit Beasts, which are kind of like our cheaper kind of entry level NFT. There's something that we did as a free drop for our community. Something that was able to be minted for free. We also give them out periodically. Like I gave out like 500 of them, I think about a month ago. Just people who just were excited about them. Just we airdropped them. But yeah, that's I would say like Bitbeasts are like a very cheap kind of entry level thing to get in and learn about the ecosystem. Start learning about 3D assets. Start watching video tutorials on how stuff works, how you can manipulate the characters, how you can animate, how you can modify them, customize them, and then the Genesis collection, like the one that everybody kind of like knows us for, the Kid Called Beast. That's I would say like our top tier asset. That's like the one that's like gets you access to the free stuff, gets you drops, gets you access to like the greater community of creators. All the different file formats. That's kind of like the full experience, I would say. So yeah, the NFT, like grab it, connect it to the website, and we have a format where you don't actually have to connect your actual wallet that's carrying the asset to be able to enjoy all the features. So that's a nice little security feature there that we built in. And you can start learning and watching videos on how everything works and understanding all the different components. And what we like about that is like you're not just buying something that you're just buying for it to appreciate in value like most people buy assets. You're gaining skills along the way. So if you're like in a crossroads or you're looking for like a hobby or like a side gig and you don't know what to do like career wise, like 3D is I would say probably one of the fastest growing things you can get into because like augmented reality, as you can obviously see me using it right now, is like right around the corner for functionality. You have gaming, you have the movie business, you have the TV business, you have the music industry. All these industries, I mean, not to mention architecture, not to mention like prototyping and engineering different goods, they all require 3D modeling, 3D visual effects in some capacity, texturing. Like there's so many facets to 3D animation, creating commercials for people, creating all sorts of different media content. Like it's a massive, massive industry. Like with just the gaming industry, for example, this is a massive, massive industry that dwarfs the film industry and the music industry combined, right? We're looking at huge opportunity for job potential, right? So if you're like in a situation where you're somebody who's in a 9-to-5 and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't have money to go to college or go to school and put myself in debt, and you're like, I want to find a new opportunity for a career, like 3D, I would say, like 3D, AI, and like coding in your part-time, the time you spend watching Netflix and burning and wasting time, that's the time you should be spending learning a new skill so that you can get supplemental income, so you can start your own business with that income, or continue doing contract work, or getting a better job working for a large company or for a company you're passionate about. Like these are skills that people learn through being with a Kid Called Beast, and there's a lot of examples of people who have built significant supplemental income by just learning 3D through this project, and then doing jobs and doing work for people to fund their hobby, their lifestyle, and so on and so forth. So like I think that's a nice benefit that I would say that comes from our project, is like the learning can lead to income, which is a much more realistic and reliable form, I would say, of income, because it's a teach a man to fish principle versus like relying on the project to do everything it needs to do to make the price go up so that you can sell the asset, and then you no longer hold the asset, and now you're back to square one with this money or this profit, where you're like, what's my next investment? Am I going to hit 2 for 2, or am I going to lose what I just made the next time I invest the profit I just made off selling this NFT, right? And so that's kind of the constant struggle of like, you're only as good as your last flip. if you're trying to just flip assets. Whereas you could, alternatively learn like a skill that could generate you consistent income, and you're in charge of what that income looks like for yourself, which I think is like a lot more appealing than, taking a risk, investing every single time, hoping that, price goes up, you sell the asset, and then you're back at square one with that money to try to, double up or whatever you're trying to do from a financial perspective. Again, like trading till you get to, freedom, right? It's again, it's if you don't have a technique or a system or process, it's a gambler's game. You'll eventually, lose it if you don't have good portfolio management, or you will have to find something else to invest in to be able to, either buy a business or fund a business. You'll have to do something else, because trading, I think, like, dynamics change very frequently. It'll be difficult to stay like tapped in, and it's a very, very draining job to stay tapped into trading, like as like a full-time career. I would say I know, because I did it for like 5 years of my life. I did trading, and I would say it was one of the most exhausting things I ever did in my life. Made a lot of money, but like, would I go back to that? Probably not. It's so draining mentally, and like you're always on edge. It's difficult, to master staying calm when you're like monitoring your assets all the time, every day.
Watching them go up and down.
Yeah, watching them go up and down. Like, you have to have a very, very strong stomach, right? Because like one day, a president or a prime minister of a country can just make a single tweet, and you can watch everything drop 5, 10, 15, 20%. And if you have a lot of, assets you're holding, that's a significant amount of money to be floating in red, right? On a feeling, on a whim, on a hunch, right? It's like, it's not being in control at that point. You're at the whim of other people, right? You're not in control of the outcome. You're basically
along for the ride.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
Emotional roller coaster.
It's different. It's a total different mindset. Like, and I appreciate people that go through it. It takes a lot of it takes a strong stomach. It takes a lot of guts. And you're either going to end up laughing or you're going to end up crying, because it only goes like one of two ways in most cases. You either lose it all or you win big.
Hey, we got there's a lot of love in the box right now. What's up, guys? I see all you guys in the box. And I got the 3D. I got a lot of the stuff from IG playing next to you. I know that we're running short on time because we're at 10:15. I know you wanted to talk about the toy a little bit and the video game. I could bring up some clips. I don't know if you want to maybe save it for the next show or talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, we can talk about it briefly. So the toy is currently in production. We're at the mold stage right now, so the mold's being manufactured. Anybody who's ever created a vinyl toy, maybe may or may not have, these kind of things, you have to basically build a really expensive like steel injection mold. And you have to get it right, and you have to do it, right the first time. Otherwise, it's going to be very costly for you to do. Second time, if you have to do it that way. So, we're at a stage right now where basically engineer is working with us to, get us a perfect steel injection mold. And, from that point on, we go through a sample, it gets approved, and then we go into full scale manufacturing with that mold, where we produce 10 unique Kid Called Beast models that are going to be a good portion of those are going to be claimed by holders. We did like a free toy claim, so that was something that was unique to us. We made it so that people can claim the toy for free, and a good portion of those are going to be going out to community members, and then we're going to have some of those that'll be for sale in different retail locations and online as well. So something that we've been working on for a long time, because we wanted like a connectivity to the toy, not just like a vinyl toy that does nothing. So we have like our vinyl toy in production. I posted the timeline on it, I think about 2 weeks ago. So we're about less than 70-ish days from being like, ready to be delivered. So that's coming up quick. And then we have our game, something we've been working on for coming up on a year, I think. And it's just been like our major focus, because we feel like the game is kind of like something that makes it very easy to introduce people into our character ecosystem, our environments, our world. It's like kind of like the cheapest way to learn about the project and learn about the brand. And so we kind of made that, I guess, our main focal point. Like it's our first entry into the brand, play the game, make friends in the game, enjoy the game. And, that leads to, fandom, where you might want to get more involved. You might want to buy the NFT, you might want to buy the toys, you might want to buy, different things that are involved in the brand. That helps, perpetuate that further and the brand and the project further, right? So yeah, it's kind of something that we've been putting a lot of time and energy into, like studying, learning, figuring things out, scaling the team, finding specialists, finding experts, finding people that are right for the job. We're not working with any agencies. We're doing everything internally, full step of the way. So when it comes to like anybody that's working on the game alongside us, whether they're a developer, coder, an artist, art director, like everybody's been like very, very much handpicked and curated based off their skill sets. And so, yeah, we're just kind of, we're going at a very, very nice pace. We're moving really, really quickly. Like, I can't believe the progression we're making on this stuff. And it's like something I'm really passionate. Something I wanted to do ever since I was a little kid that I didn't think I'd ever get to do. It just kind of literally fell into my lap. It's like destiny almost, where just like a lot of building blocks came in. So, a lot of these things we're very, very passionate about. They're very personal to us. And so we're putting, like our maximum energy into this. Like the whole team is pretty much like living, eating, breathing this project at this stage. Like we're all such perfectionists, which is kind of awesome. So like the quality of stuff that gets released is really, really high quality. Very, very few errors and bugs when it comes to like the deliverables, because everybody has such a high degree of what's acceptable to release. Like if it's not good enough for me or for Caleb or Nick or L or anybody else on the team, then it's like not good enough to release. So we keep pushing it till we hit that satisfaction point where it's something we would use, something that we would be like, this is good enough. So if it's good enough at this stage, we all sign off on it, then we release it. And so like that's allowed us to, sometimes it takes us obviously more time to deliver items, but like when we deliver them, like they're great. Like the feedback is like 99% positive. The only negative feedback we ever get typically is like somebody saying, I didn't receive this on time, and that's due to a delay that's not even our fault. It's like, for example, like a shipping company that's causing delays, or something that's like user error. A lot of times they just don't know how to do it. As soon as they learn, they're like amazed on how it works, right? And so like that feedback has been really, really positive, and it propels us to, work harder and do more. Having a positive feedback loop is always, motivating and encouraging when you're on the back end, putting in like countless hours into stuff and like losing sleep over it. It ends up being, worth it, because like the feedback you get from the community, the people that supported you from day one, or people who joined on to support you, are like very, very encouraging. It lets you know like you're on the right track, right? Keep going. That positive feedback is like what motivates you, right? And obviously, we have our own internal reasons for why we're doing this and why we want to keep going. We're very much underdogs. Like our whole story is an underdog story. But having motivation from other people is like definitely a driving force. Like getting that feedback from people definitely pushes all of us to go harder. Like every time somebody even like likes a post of some work that we did, like put up a footage of some of our gameplay, for example, or anything that we're building, everybody on the team sees that, and they feel like a sense of like, yes,
it's
like this is
inspiring, man.
Yeah, it's satisfactory, right? Like
Shit,
it's that feedback loop.
It's fuel for
Like-
the tank.
Like most people, they don't even care. Like most people don't care about like money. Like money's like secondary, right? Like you'll make money if you're good at what you do, like universally, right? But I think the biggest thing is like when people appreciate what you're doing and the work you're doing, and seeing that, like that's like very motivating for people. Like that's what motivates me the most. Because like I don't know, I would think anybody who's like made a decent amount of money in their lifetime can agree that like money starts hitting less and less in like a dopamine level, I would say, after you hit certain milestones. Like it takes more and more and more of it to like satisfy you. Whereas like creating something from like artistic perspective, a music perspective, like when you get feedback on it from people and appreciation from people, like you can't buy that. I don't think. Like, I mean, you can in some senses, but I would say like authentically, when you know it's not bought, it hits amazingly every time. Like when people appreciate the work you're doing, and they give you positive, constructive feedback, it's very good.
it's the big payoff.
Yeah, it's like the high,
Yeah,
like
you
the
feel
high.
like you're in the right direction, right?
Yeah, it keeps giving, right? Like when uh, when you just keep doing your best and like pushing forward, like it's very satisfying. I mean, anybody who's a creator who gets feedback from anyone on anything they do can tell you it's like it's probably the same as if you're like a DJ on stage and people are cheering for you. Like it's motivating. You want to keep going. You want to crowd please, right? Depends on the personality too, right? Like if you're somebody who's like loves to host people and you love to like for my friends, for example, like whenever I hang out with my friends, I love hosting. I love just making sure they have the best time ever. Like cooking dinner for them, making sure like the drinks are great, the food's great, like entertainment's great, like and seeing them have a good time, like it makes me feel good. Like being able to do that for them and like other people that do that for me, like I also like someone's hosting me. I like making sure that they know that I'm having the best time ever because I know what it's like to be a host, right? And when I give them that feedback and I communicate that to them, they're gonna feel like uplifted that the effort of what they put in is appreciated. They're appreciated as like a human, as a soul, and they'll continue to do that, right? You build amazing relationships with people that way, right? So it's kind of the same thing, but like on like a granular scale, with like artists, creators, supporters, and fans, right? Like that feedback loop is very important. Like it's a good two-way relationship. When people are happy by what's being delivered, it feels good for us, and when they let us know that, it also feels good for us, right? Like it's that two-way kind of relationship that just keeps things going and flowing.
Hey, the 3D that's on the Instagram, right? That's these now. I want to make sure I get this right. Are these examples of other people's work that they're learning through your site, or is this your work?
On the Instagram,
Yeah, yeah.
so the video reels that we do, so that's our internal team.
Okay.
So we basically have an animation team that so Caleb's one of the other founders. He's mainly in charge of that. So he basically curates with Hasu, who's like one of the creative directors of the video team, and they basically come up with content ideas and storylines and different things to create this content. Sometimes it's based on trends, sometimes it's based on just like a fun, cool idea that they just spin up, and we all kind of just like I guess animate things and build things, and we add people to the team that are a good fit on the animation side. Yeah, there's a lot of like I guess like moving parts to it, but yeah, every week we're putting out different ideas and concepts for content. Some of them hit, and they do really really well. Some of them are like, we'll try again next time. But the growth on Instagram, for example, has been like amazing. Like we started doing that, I think about between 3 and 4 months ago. We had about 8,000 followers. Now we're at 100.
They like you, bro.
Yeah, there's 148,000 followers now. There's like over 5 videos with over 1 million plays. One of them has got like 9.2 million. Went totally viral. And yeah, like we're getting noticed by a lot of people. Like the DMs are absolutely flooded. You can't even like communicate in there because there's too many people trying to message and like send DM requests. And it's I finally get why like people with a lot of followers on their accounts, they physically can't get back.
Answer.
They can't answer. They physically can't answer. There's too much stuff to get through. So like if you're ever trying to get a hold of somebody with a lot of followers, you're gonna have to get really creative to get their attention in some way that calls them out or shouts them out in a way that they can notice you and spot you. And yeah, we learned that I guess that we've never had an account that big that we've been in control of. So learning that from that side of things is like it's interesting, but it's like a new challenge we have to try to figure out how to solve because there's a lot of people trying to get a hold of us and people offering us a lot of money as well too to build 3D stuff for them, which is great from like a sustainability standpoint. It's like we have other options and avenues we can always look at for revenue generation because we obviously have a 3D team. So even if we started doing 3D content for other people, it's just another means of being able to keep the project going perpetually forever, right?
Hey, real quick, the toys.
Yeah.
The ones next to you, are those examples of?
Yeah, so these are prototypes. The ones that are on the shelf. So they're like a prototype of one of the female colorways and then one of the male colorways. They're missing a little fabric ski mask that we got made. So it's like a little, it's like a little miniature ski mask. It's made of cloth, like cotton fabric, just like a real ski mask, and it slides over top on the final version. And there's a few little other Easter eggs on it, but Yeah, that's pretty much a replica of the toy. It's a 10-inch toy model. It's got articulating arms, wrists, and a head. Um, so that was a cool little like additional feature we decided to build in. Most vinyl toys, they don't move. We wanted something that can, have different poses, I guess. And yeah, it's like I guess our first attempt at doing a high quality vinyl toy. It comes in 5 colorways for the female and 5 colorways for the male. And what we did is we did like a gold colorway for both male and female, which will be randomly dropped in boxes, so you won't know you got one until you open it. Which thought was kind of like a fun element. So like there's that additional level of surprise where you might open one that's ultra rare and very limited, and we're just going to hide them completely randomly in boxes. You won't even know you got one until you open it. So it's kind of a cool little bonus feature there.
The box that you're talking, the actual box that it just says, this is funny because this is when you guys really caught my attention, is when you showed I think it was the first series, or was the first series for sale, and they came in the black boxes with the chain?
Yeah, so that's the one that's coming out this time. So the black box with the chain, that's what's going to be getting dropped in like 70-ish days or less.
Where did you, real quick, where did you post that clip of that?
I think it's pinned to it's very first post on my page. It's pinned
on your page.
Yeah, on my personal account.
Okay, hang on, let me go.
So that box actually was one of the most challenging parts of like this whole toy, I would say, outside of like getting it modeled up to spec in a way that will work for like a vinyl toy mold. Yeah, the idea for how to do that box actually came to me in a dream, as corny as that sounds. And I remember waking up from that dream and running from my computer, because you know how dreams are, right? They super fresh in your mind for like
the
2 minutes, and then they fade really quickly, right? And so I remember I woke up from it and I ran to my computer, like flew out of bed, ran to the computer, and I just started like mocking up the idea I had in my head, like as quickly as I could, like half asleep, like waking up. It was probably like 4 a.m. And got like a little bit of a prototype on how to get the box developed in a way that like would support the idea I had of having the box in a chain. So it's the very bottom of the box. It's our own proprietary design that has like a special like kind of setup in there that allows us to weave a chain through the box while allowing the box to still open from a slidey like top perspective. So like the box opens like very similar to like a very nice expensive champagne or like bottle of whiskey or scotch. It has like that slow sliding kind of thick element, and then it's chained before that. So you're gonna actually unravel and unlock chains to open the box, and I think it's just like a very premium unboxing experience. And then when you reveal it, you'll have obviously the toy sitting in like laser cut foam, and then like and the NFC components of that as well. I think like we put a lot of labor of love into like making this like very, very special and not your average toy. We bought a lot of art toys too to see how they're delivered, just so we can understand what the average vinyl toy experience is like. That's what we do a lot of time. We buy a lot of stuff sometimes just to like feel as a collector, as a retail consumer, what does this feel like opening it? Is this like a premium experience? Like what could be elevated? And we take notes on like that initial first reaction without being like critical right from the get-go, just like that essence of like when you open something for the first time, how does it feel, right? We do a lot of that when we're like developing our own like products and stuff, so that like we can elevate our own experience. Like where are the pain points? What could be better? What do you wish this had? Like when you're opening something, and then we fill in the blanks, right? To make that experience when you're like opening, a hoodie for the first time, like what does that feel like? When you're opening, a skate deck for the first time, what does that feel like? When you're opening a toy for the first time, like what does that feel like? We're very much on like how something makes you feel. Because if it makes you feel good, you're probably gonna stick around. You're probably gonna.
It feels like honestly, it feels like a real collectible.
Yeah, it does. I think like people are gonna leave that in the box.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
The way people keep sneakers in the box, I think 100%. There's gonna be people that don't even open that toy. They're gonna leave it in the box because it looks good. Like even in the box, it looks good. It looks premium. It It looks expensive. It looks like keep your hands off that. That's my kid called Beast. You know, like it's yeah, like it has that like, and
Just
we
put it
want
on the
it. We want
shelf and don't touch it.
yeah, like well, I mean, collectibles are important to people, right? Like if they're a moment in time, they're like a place, they're like sentimental. Like why shouldn't we make it like feel that part? Like it should look as good in the box as it does when you pull it out of the box, right? And so like that's very important, right? People keep boxes for things that are sentimental, especially if like they're doing it from a store of value perspective too. Like you know, having a nice box just adds to the you know experience. I think the whole presentation, the whole package, right?
I've been scrolling forever, man. I want to show everybody this. I
Yeah,
can't.
there's a lot. It's so much to unpack in one
can't
day.
find the
But
box though. Like that little clip was super impressive. You have the toy pinned, the toy that comes together, but there's one clip somewhere that I lost it, but it opens. I don't know. Maybe it's on your website.
Mark, I'm sure you're gonna have one on your desk soon.
I think the promo that you guys did like grabbed my attention.
Oh yeah, Haskell, absolutely. He's like one of our animators on the team. He's absolutely like guru wizard. Like he's so good. You know, a lot of people in our community are incredible, right? Haslu, he just like he has his own like really cool style and flair that just works really really well with the project. And yeah, he absolutely murdered that one. I think that clip is like so cool. Like all his like
you know,
anytime he does a product clip, it just like looks very like
oh man,
it has that classy tech look to it.
Oh shit! Let me tell you, so I got a picture of it here, but there's a clip out there. If anybody can find it, drop the link in the comments. But that 3D clip is insane. It's like bro. You guys got the marketing nailed.
Oh yeah, no, like I think
yeah,
and
you're
like
flawless.
99% of the people that follow us on Instagram, there's 148,000 people on there. They don't even know we're dropping a toy. They don't even know we're dropping a game. They don't know. They're not even prepared for any of that yet. They just know that they like our characters and they like the way they move. They like the way they dance. They like the way they look. So beyond that, like once they learn about the toys, once they learn about how NFTs work, how crypto works,
yeah,
with like virgin eyes and virgin ears for the first time for the most of them, right? I think it'll be a really good experience, right? Because like let's face it, a lot of the people on X, they're so PTSD. Like I'm even PTSD from the stuff we bought. That like if somebody tries to pitch me an NFT project for the first time and they're like, yeah, it's a JPEG, but we're gonna eventually build like an anime, movie, or TV series, and we're gonna build toys and we're gonna build clothes and we're gonna connect to the metaverse and shit. I'm like, bro, I don't fucking care.
It's never
honestly,
worked.
because you're probably not gonna do it. You're probably not gonna do shit. You don't have it in you to do it. You don't have the longevity it takes. You're going to be on to the next thing as soon as
right.
your ears perk and you get the dopamine from something else. Like tell me about your longest relationship. Is it over a year? You know, like I want to know so many other things before I invest in your NFT project, before I buy anything else, because I don't want to lose any more money.
You gotta
right?
be
I
a
don't
finisher,
want to buy
man.
things. I don't want to buy things that don't do anything. I'm totally cool if the asset that I buy, it goes down in value. Totally cool with that. No big deal, because I'm buying it to collect it, to enjoy it, and primarily to enjoy its features, right? If I'm enjoying its features and there's continued development on it, and I'm getting like additional value out of it without having to sell the asset, I'm happy. I'm happy as a pig in shit at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
right, so
because it's so rare. It's so rare.
Everything in this place is a plus, right? Because
yeah, anything that's extra above and beyond my NFT that I bought.
Even
I could always sell my NFT if things don't work out, right? But if I'm getting additional stuff, like I'm sticking around, I'm staying because like I get to enjoy, you know, what I purchased and the character IP, the universe, the community. I get to enjoy that over and over and over and over as long as I hold the asset. So like, as long as that's happening, I'm good. I'm holding, you know?
Yeah, it's just so like anything past profit, right? Like, because everybody buys something, but awesome. Thank you, Meme. Thank you. All right. So they're sending. Oh man, this is when you got a chat that's got their shit together. Let me tell you.
Yeah, no, our community is like best.
So
best
is this it? Is this the clip that I've been looking for? Yeah. Okay. All right, so I'll talk to you while I play this. This is I could not find this. Thank you. Hang on one second. Let me play this for these guys. Oh shit, yeah, man. So, yeah, man, you guys got your shit together, bro. You guys,
Yeah, it's good, man. Like people seem to really enjoy it. Like we've done like a lot of like tests on it too as well, like little blind tests, just like with like kids of friends, nephews, nieces, different things like that, to see like how people feel about the character placed next to other characters that are like already like very big in the scene. And without knowing the names, without knowing how many social media followers they have or how well they're doing or like anything, people, especially people's kids, they absolutely love the character. The character is like, it's cool, it's different, it's unique, it's a fresh take on something that kind of feels familiar, because it's got like the Mickey Mouse style gloves, hands.
It was on TikTok.
Yeah, no, we gotta like we're trying to do other social channels besides X right now. So it's like, yeah, we have a lot of content that doesn't even get hit X that's on other places. So it's like, yeah, it's good. It's good to have those other channels, right?
Well, I mean, you guys' marketing is top notch, right? That's number one. The way you put this shit together, I mean, it's just fun to watch, right? It feels like the next Lego or like the next Disney characters. You don't really know what's going on when you first come across it, like, but then you venture into the world, you check it out, you want to learn more. I mean, it's just everything that you get. So you said you're perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist, right? Like I like everything perfect.
Yeah, pretty much everybody on our team is like, everybody's like, they hold themselves to a high standard because like the work they do is a reflection of themselves a lot of times. So people have a lot of personal pride, which is good, right? If everybody in a team working towards the same goal has a lot of personal pride, you're gonna have very positive outcomes, right? When people are thinking about like the group's outcome and the community's outcome, the team's outcome over their own independence, and their own egos and their own like, that kind of stuff. Like everybody on our team is like working towards the same thing, like it's a team effort. It's not like it's like individuals obviously working on the project, but there's a lot of them, right? And so like working at it from the perspective of a team, and it's not like, one person that's just like, doing everything. Like it's always a better outcome, right? Like, and I obviously I hope that people understand that whenever I post stuff, there's like 25 people behind the scenes. It's not me doing everything by myself at all. Like I'm there from a project management perspective. I'm there from like an art director perspective. I help consult on the music side of things too. We all share our ideas. We put them in a pool, but that's like where it ends. You know what I mean? Like it's not like me building everything. Like some people think that it's like, that are new to the project, think that like I'm like the creative force behind everything. Absolutely not the case. I just want people to be like well aware that there's like a huge community and there's a large team behind the scenes of everything you see put out. A lot of people worked on that. It's not like, here's what I built, like it's, I had a role in like crafting, a lot of the environments, like pretty much I did the concept art for 9 environments. And like I have like a creative input on like how stuff looks, I guess, and like feedback rounds, and like, as does the rest of the team. But like, yeah, there's a lot of people working behind the scenes. It's not like 2, 3, 4 people doing this. It's like 25 people all working together to make, this whole project a reality.
Yeah. So from top, I'm giving you guys you know how long ago I've been writing you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, shit.
A while.
I've been salivating to get you guys on, right? Because I just feel like everybody needs to see this. If they don't understand it, if they haven't seen it, it's interesting. So if I turned my camera around and showed you my Lego collection right next to me, there's cases and stacks. And so like, I understand Lego. And so I never put 2 and 2 together until you said Lego. And I'm like,
we want people to have fun. Like, because part of Lego is like,
it's a great model, man.
Collecting it, but building it, like, especially if you're building with somebody that's like special to you. Like my first experience with Lego was I was building Lego with my dad, right? Like that's a moment I'll cherish, you know, because it's like you're constructing someone with somebody that means something to you. And a lot of people's first experience with Lego is like, you know, with their son, their daughter, their kids, with friends, you know, like it's a social experience. It's also like, you know, personal creativity experience as well from the other angle if you're doing it by yourself. Like we want Kid Called Beast to be that feeling, something that in any way, like, you know, whether it's a toy, whether it's clothes, whether it's animation or creativity or gaming, something that people can enjoy either by themselves or socially with kids, with friends, family members. Like we want this to be a universal brand that can be like enjoyed by people in different ways, whether it's solo or in a group environment or you know, duos, trios, like however people want to do it. We want it to just be like something that people can share and have fun with, because like a lot of brands are losing that kind of wholesome touch and that perspective when it comes to like the classics that got us excited about these things. Like, you know, there's very few brands that are still, you know, fundamentally, I think, pure in that way. A lot of people are like, they go on that paper chase route and they just focus purely on like what makes the most money. But like fundamentally, like if you make things that are fun and enjoyable, I think you'll find a way to make ends meet, and you'll find a way to make money and make them sustainable, as long as fundamentally they're fun and enjoyable for people, right?
You know, have you seen Rocky?
Yeah, of course.
You know the part where Rocky and Mick, and Rocky's like, "Where's the money? And Mick's like, "Listen, you just focus on being the best and doing the best and being the best, and the money will just flow in."
Like look at every single, like, minus like, you know, a few of the industry plants or like people that had like already successful like you know, parents, from the like lens of like nepotism and whatnot. But like any, you know, artist that came up out of nowhere that was like on the streets or whatever and then became like a multi-platinum, you know, insane selling artist, you know, their come up stories are like exactly that. Just become the best out there in your category of what you're doing, and the money will come automatically. Look at, you know, like a good example of an artist for something like this would be like The Weeknd. You know, literally homeless before he blew up, became, you know, one of the biggest artists of our time, right? Or of current era, I guess, right? And there's tons of stories out there of like people just getting discovered like on social media by just doing the best in their category, right? I think that very much is still alive, and people definitely notice this spark talent, it's unique and original. And yeah, it's just a matter of you know, doing your best. If you do your best, you don't really have to worry about what other people are doing. It's to worry about what you're doing, and people will notice, and they'll catch on.
Focus on the art. Focus on the project.
100%.
Focus on the quality, right? You guys seriously focus on the quality, and everything else will fall into place. Give me a second while I move these screens back. I wanted to give everybody a really good feel, a really good taste. Can you do me one favor, Raf? Can you actually grab one of those physicals and just show everybody in the screen?
Oh, there we go.
So awesome.
Yeah, so it's got a little twistable head.
Awesome. This is awesome. See, bro, I can't tell you how long I was drooling to get you guys on the show. Just because I just love everything about this. I'm a marketing guy. I believe in marketing. I think it's the most important thing that you can possibly, you know, you have a quality, right? I always say, you have a quality product, you do quality art, right? But if nobody sees it, if nobody's attracted to it, what does it matter, right?
Yeah, exactly, right.
Right.
People neglect that part of it. Yeah, I mean, we haven't done a lot of marketing, to be completely honest, in the last, like, I would say year, because we've been like just we're obviously like limited in size. We've been heads down, just like, you know, going through and creating everything, because we don't have, you know, people that are, you know, contracted out to do stuff for us. Like a lot of projects will hire somebody that like will do their toys for them or build their game for them, or do their merch or clothing for them, you know, like people that do that. We do everything ourselves. So like the manufacturing of clothing, we have our own internal company that we manufacture our clothing with from scratch. It's cut and sew. Like everything is not built on blanks. It's built from like a template at a fundamentally sketched level, the way fashion design companies do it. And we get it, cut and assembled from scratch. We pick out the fabrics. We do everything ourselves. We design the patches, the zippers, the threads used. Like, everything is done with intent. It's not like something that already exists and then we stick our logo on it and sew on a new tag. We don't do anything like that when it comes to our clothing and our accessories. And so, same thing with the game. Like, we didn't hire a game company to build our game for us. We staffed the entire game ourselves in terms of like artistic directors, coders, people on the team that are for 3D modeling, texturing. We do all the concept art ourselves, so we get exactly what we want the lookup to be. Music, we do ourselves. Some of the sound effects too, we do ourselves for the game. Like everything that we're doing on that side, we do internally. And then toy company. I would say, is like another facet of the brand where we're trying to build something that has longevity to it and that can be kind of sustainable on its own. And like everything from like the box design to the toy design, like everything is done from scratch. It's not like done in any kind of template format or anything like that. Every asset that we build, every like telephone pole or bench that you see in the game, we made from scratch. It didn't come from anywhere else. It was designed and conceptualized and built and textured from scratch. So like we're very proud of the way we do things, and we like creating everything independently. I think it builds much more value in the brand, and from a standpoint of like, if one day we are in a situation where, let's say, we're trying to scale the brand to a mega level and we're seeking investment, I think that having the IP and all the different pipelines for manufacturing built and owned outright without having to go through licensees and work out other alternate agreements as part of the deal makes the project a lot more attractive. It makes it a lot more turnkey, and from an investment standpoint, I think it's a lot easier to recoup an investment because you have everything owned internally, not contractors you have to hire who might learn that you just got a big payday. They might start charging you more, or they say they're too busy to work with you. Like there's a lot of situations that can happen if you're not in control of all your assets. In our situation, because we own our manufacturing pipeline for clothing and merch. We own our pipeline for toys. We own our pipeline for the game. We're not, reliant on anybody else outside to like determine what our success rate can be or what our margins are or anything. Like we're able to just, stay independent as long as we possibly can until it makes sense to, seek investment and seek, opportunity to take us to that next level.
Yeah, no, you guys are doing it the right way, bro. I have not. I told you, you guys have not missed. I'm very meticulous when it comes to analyzing shit, and I've watched everything you guys done. I knew it way back when I was writing you for the first time. I'm like, bro, I need you on the show. Like, people need to see this level of quality. I see it, right? Like, I see it because I have the experience. I know what quality is. From the toys to the games to just the way you guys created the PFPs to just the posts, the way you guys take so much pride in every little thing that you do, and the quality just shines through, right? My father used to be a TQM, totally quality management in America. He used to go to businesses and he used to you could hire him to come in and analyze what's right. And most people just ship shit out. They don't care the results. They send it to factories. They get.
Oh no, I know.
But you guys look like you're hands on with every single
Everything.
little thing.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, everything. And
yeah, like me and my wife, like we were cutting threads by hand on the t-shirts and the hoodies just to make sure that everything was like perfect. Because like when you manufacture stuff, the person on the end, because like obviously I didn't sew the t-shirts myself, right? My wife didn't sew the t-shirts herself, right? But on the other end, the person who's doing that, they're going to put a lot of pride into their work. It's going to be, better than what 99% of other people will do because they're specialized and they know what kind of tier is expected. But still, there's going to be missing threads. There's going to be different things that just happen. It's just like clothing manufacturing. You're never going to catch all the threads. You're never going to do all that stuff. But just like the amount of effort we put into it, we were like prior to shipping, like cutting threads off of hats, off of shirts, just anything I felt out of place that wasn't like that OCD top tier level. Like we took care of it ourselves, and we made sure that every package had like a personal touch on it, like making sure that it went through like a quality control. It got examined and made sure that it's like you guys are getting the best when you get something from a kid called Beast. Like that's the feeling I want people to have.
It shows, bro. I mean, Lego has the same concept, right? They've never slacked on anything, and you guys don't slack on anything, right? And so when I see something like this, I see a project like this, and how it came from the PFP, and I'm watching you guys building the bear, and I'm just sitting idle.
No, it's I can't even believe where we're at. Like it's pretty crazy. Like I'm so proud of us, honestly. Like, and like what's still coming out too that we haven't even like released yet. I'm very proud. Like we're on the right track. It feels good. Like each time we drop something and like execute on a deliverable that we said we would do, and we actually do it and we pull it off, it's so satisfying. And all the people that ever doubted us, like it's so satisfying to be able to pull it off just from that lens of people just telling us, hey, you can't do this, and then we do it, and we do it better than they ever thought, and we turn people that didn't believe in us into believers. That's a very satisfying feeling, right? Because eventually, sooner or later, on a long enough timeline, like people can't hate us. They see that we all work very hard. We have a lot of passion in what we're doing, and we deliver for people. Like we're dependable, and we have a track record of delivering for people. And so, as people learn that and they get their own experience of that, I think like, I'm confident. I think we can deliver. And so, when I tell people that we're going to do something, it's going to happen, right? Because otherwise, I feel, that point of like,
bro,
I would feel guilty if we don't, right? Because I said something, it has to come true now. And if it doesn't come true, like there needs to be a very, very logical explanation for why it doesn't come true, or it needs to come true. There's only two outcomes.
I've watched your X for a long time, bro. I've read your posts, and you take shit seriously, right? A lot of people.
You have to, right? It's just like other people
everybody's watching.
If they believe in you, right? If somebody believes in you and they put faith into you, like you only get one shot at that. If you break that, it's like you think they're gonna put faith into you a second time. There's so many other options, right? So like, why not just
look at what you're in? You're in Web3.
Yeah, and people are like heartless and relentless here, right? If you mess up really bad, they won't give you a second chance. It'll be very difficult for somebody to give you a second chance. Yeah. It's hard to get a first chance in the first place, right? Now, in the current state, when you see how crazy things are, and you see like what the meta is right now, like it's very, very. Look what people are doing just to get some attention. Like if you look at the meme coin world, I don't know if you've been following Pumped Up Fun. People are putting ropes around their neck for like to pump a meme coin, or threatening to kill their dog. Like it's at an absurd level now, where now that Pandora's box is open, I think like it's gonna be even more difficult for people to catch traction because the extremes are there now, right? Like once you introduce those extremes and you spread the goalposts farther and farther and farther of like what it takes to become famous or what it takes to gain traction, it becomes that much more impossible for the average sane user, right? For the person who isn't willing to go to insane levels in that way for attention, right? And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to try to compete in that way. Like those people, like they can do that. I don't want to be in a cage wearing a ball gag, trying to get people to buy a kid called Beast. I'm going to be just working on, trying to build a fun game and do like classically enjoyable stuff. Because I think sooner or later, people will get sick of the extremism and the pendulum will swing the other way. Like similar to what happened with like, even I want to say like woke culture, it hit this level of extreme where people were just like, this is too far. And now you're seeing like socially as a whole, like the pendulum swinging the other way, where people are going back to like a little bit more conservative roots, I guess, in some ways, right? Like, because that's what always happens. Trends swing in opposite directions. They go to one extreme, they come back to the other extreme, right? People are going to be looking for more wholesome stuff, I think, soon enough. And the shock factor extremism is not going to be what drives attention anymore. it's going to be things with wholesome values and things that are like genuine and feel good and make people feel good and they just feel like real and natural and wholesome. And so like we want to be kind of prepared for when hopefully the pendulum swings in that direction.
You attention is a terrible drug, and
Yeah, it really is.
yeah, social media just amplified it like you can't believe, and then you trickle in the little meme coin and money. It's just
No,
craziness.
it's just like yeah, it's like dopamine on dopamine, and like then you multiply that by themselves, and like you have people that are willing to do more than others. Like you remember the show Fear Factor?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, eat these bugs. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, eat these bugs, right?
yeah,
Next
yeah.
thing you know, he's sitting with some cobras. Eat these snakes. Next thing you know, you're sitting in a cage wearing a ball gag, and you're willing to put stuff on yourself, or like humiliate yourself just for some money, right? Like, no, I mean not everybody, right? But the people that are willing to do that who don't have those like who don't have that like personal, I guess I don't even know what you call that, like
Self-respect, man.
self-respect. There you go. A great way to put that.
You
A lot of people that don't have that are going to start emerging from the woodworks, and like you're going to see like the lows sink to newer lows, and the highs, maybe hit new highs. We'll see, right? I just know whenever there's extreme set, it changes where the goalposts are, and it becomes you know more difficult for just the same regular person to get noticed.
I think if you guys just stay right in your lane, uh, there
Yeah,
ain't.
we're just gonna keep going. I know there's people out there that are like, I don't want my kids exposed to like some weirdo stuff. I don't want I don't want to be exposed to that weirdo. So I'm just like normal. I know there's a lot of normal people just like us and our team, like that just like want to do cool classic stuff, like stuff that reminds us of like our childhood that is like before the internet made everything so crazy, right? Uh, you can still enjoy these things without having to, deep dive into the deep end of the pool on that side of things, right? Tech is always going to evolve. Social norms are always going to evolve. Crypto is going to evolve. We're going to have new ways of exploring new things, but you can still enjoy and appreciate, an old movie or things that are like nostalgic of the past. That's why like, people to this day will buy, arcade machines from the 80s and put them in their man caves or their basements or their entertainment rooms and still pick them up and play them, right? Because it brings them back to a time where things were a little more simple, a little more wholesome, and it wasn't as complicated as the media makes things look today, right?
I think we've lost, especially with the social media, we've lost our way. Genuineness is, that seems to be a something.
It'll swing back the other way. I think. I don't think like you can
I
just
agree.
keep going stream this way because like we've already like we're hitting these limits. Like how much further does it go before like people are just completely nude doing like the most extreme things on each other in like
We're already
broad
there, Raf.
like it's
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 pumped
it's
on
like
fun.
I just don't.
They had the
I
ban
know
the
it can. I
streaming.
know I say it. I don't believe it. How it can go further. I know it can for sure go further. I don't know how yet. We're yet to see, but I think like people are getting kind of like I don't know. I'm just tired of like when I scroll and I see like gross stuff that I didn't sign up for. I'm not in the algorithm for, and it just gets thrown in my face because people I know, who I am friends with, are talking about it or interacting with it. Um, like it's I don't know. Like hopefully the AI gets a little smarter on like helping figure out your algorithm, but I don't think it wants to because like
Shock,
a lot of revenue gets driven.
shock sells, bro.
Yeah, shock sells. It always has,
Yeah.
right? Uh, Either way, though, I don't know. We're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. Wholesome path. It feels good. I feel good about what we're doing. I don't feel like I have a guilty conscience or I feel bad for any of the stuff we're doing. I feel actually great when I come to work and I work 10, 12 hours straight. I feel good at the end of the day. I feel like this is going to bring a lot of joy to a lot of people. I don't feel like we're doing anything that's like going to make people feel bad or a certain type of way or it's going to exclude people. And so I'm going to keep doing it.
So, Raf, we're coming up on 2 hours. And I think personally it was a great introduction, great show. You guys are going to come back on the show, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, awesome. I want to kind of follow your progression and your progress, and I know there's a lot more coming out, and so I definitely want you guys back on the show. Before we say goodnight, I think we should save a little bit more, let everybody kind of move on with their night, and we'll save the rest for the next show. Maybe before we say goodnight, there's a lot of, gosh, man, I remember when I first got into the scene, there's like thousands of people with all these PFP projects, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and everybody disappeared, right? And then you're just paying attention to the people who stayed behind and the projects that really people, passion projects, right? Talking to you guys now and meeting you, and it's just seeing all the passion behind the project, the whole team. I mean, you guys got a great team. Just going through everything and having the chance to talk to you and show everybody everything that you guys are doing from my perspective, and then having you talk about it, right? So much inspiration here, right? You make me want to get off the live and start, pumping my art again. Maybe you could just leave maybe some people who maybe walked away or maybe didn't finish, or I don't know, some inspirational words for us. Maybe some other PFP projects out there that might have said, just, I don't know, didn't finish. So just whatever, maybe.
Yeah, I would say give it, if somebody, started something, didn't finish, and they already collected the money, I would say give it to the people that are still passionate about the project, because they can continue it over. Community takeovers are common. I've seen some very successful ones, like shout out Pudgy Penguins. That guy's a absolute legend. Luca, he took over a project that wasn't fulfilling on its promises. There's if you're gonna take money for something, you have obligations. People have expectations of what they're buying into. Deliver on your roadmap. I think is very, very important. If you don't, fuck you, because that's just not the way to do things. A lot of people put a lot of trust into these things, and if you ruin their first experience, putting faith into you as a human, you're going to put a bad taste in somebody's mouth, and you're going to ruin opportunities for other people who might actually have a genuine idea or concept or something that they want to deliver to the world, and they won't get that chance because you made that person's first experience or their second experience a bad one, and you're taking away opportunity from other people who actually want to deliver for collectors and for people who are caring about these NFT communities and caring about digital collectibles and crypto and trying out new things. So I would say, it's more than just, what somebody does or takes away from their own community, but what they do is they take away from other communities as well and other potential projects. If you do care about, doing this, I think you have to give it your all. You have to do something unique. You have to put your passion into what you're doing. Otherwise people will just find other projects that have that passion, that have those people, that put everything into what they're trying to do. Like, I don't know, like advice, if you like something, I guess, continue doing it. Find something you like, right? If you get bored of something and you're not enjoying it, give it to somebody who might enjoy it instead, right? Don't just like run away or go silent. Like that's like the most dishonorable, pathetic way to go about things, especially when you like lead people and people believe in you, right? You definitely have to be communicative the entire way. Especially, I can understand if somebody loses a passion for something and they're no longer interested in something. They should articulate that and communicate that to everybody early on, so that people have an opportunity to make their exits or be able to find alternate means or work together to maybe do a takeover and continue where the project left off. But like people just like disappearing without an explanation or like frivolous spending, like that to me is just like disgusting human behavior. Like I wish them the worst. I truly do.
Hey, Raf, real quick, before we say goodnight, maybe you could just let everybody know best way to contact you, best way, reach out. How do they follow you? Maybe just drop all the socials and let everybody know how they find the project, how they especially if there's any type of like deals where people want to reach out, maybe work something out with you guys. Give them a way.
Yeah, follow our website. Obviously, like all our socials are there. Our Discord, if you want to chat with people, if you've never talked to them before. Our Kid Called Beast X account, my personal account, Rafsby. Our Instagram account's great if you want to just like see cool, funny content. Every other day. It's A Kid Called Beast. Pretty much, most of the handles are just A Kid Called Beast, exactly how it sounds. No underscores, no extra weird things. It's just Instagram.com/A Kid Called Beast, or x.com/a kid called beast, and then my personal account Rafsby. I do a lot of more like the day-to-day posts from my perspective, so it's not necessarily like the brand perspective. It's just like I use X pretty much exclusively as like my own daily journal for my own accountability, and also to share with others like what the project's doing from my lens, how I'm seeing things, how things are progressing. And so like my viewpoint might be a little different than like the front facing like company viewpoint, where we share more limited, more curated information. I kind of go a bit more of an uncensored like day by day approach, where I post progress of what people are working on. I post ideas I might have, some team ideas, progress reports on different stages of the different developments that I'm involved in. And so if you want like an inside kind of look of behind the scenes, like that's probably the best way to get a look at that. If you want like the most crucial key components, then I would say the Kid Called Beast official account's like the way to go to get like a summary of like the top level things that are happening.
Okay. Hey, Raf, I want to say thank you.
My pleasure, man.
I know I busted your balls about being on the show a lot. I can't tell you how much I was fiending. I was so excited. And then tonight with the tech problems, so I appreciate you having.
Yeah, I know. It's because I'm on a laptop right now. So if anybody in the audience who's like paying attention, my GPU, my graphics card on my PC melted down literally in the middle of like working on some 3D stuff with team. And I remember like my computer just completely like shut off. The power, like fan spooled up, computer shut off, and everybody was like, where'd Raf go? What happened? Just disappeared. And like my PC wouldn't shut back on, so or turn back on. So I'm on a laptop now, PC's in repairs till Wednesday. So next time we do this, I'll be able to show you a lot more stuff because I'll have like all my files, all my stuff. I'm just kind of like in backup mode right now.
No. Hey, listen, I appreciate you pushing through, right? Because we had to kind of figure out a way to make it work, and
made it work. Like pretty like duct tape fix on my end, but like hey, it works.
Yeah, man. You don't realize you got a great show, man, and a lot of great love in the box. And you guys got some.
I'm afraid to open it right now because like I don't want anything to freeze or break or like crash.
Well, they're not going nowhere. They'll all be there for you to read. But let me tell you, man, you put on a good show, and I appreciate that. I didn't have any doubt, right? But when you said, with the tech, and I was like, no, we got to push forward. I'm like, I waited to do this show for so long.
I mean, we got more to cover next time, too. Like, there's still, like, a lot to be unpacked.
But, and I appreciate you hanging around the extra time, man.
My pleasure.
I really do. So, at this point, I'm not gonna need a song. We're gonna leave. We're gonna go out on the Kid Called Beast song on the website.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna let that play out, right? Because I feel like that's who you guys are. But so I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for sitting here and having this conversation. I hate calling them interviews. I like them to be conversations. I like to chop it up and get to know people. I feel like it brings out the best in during the. Oh shit! I lost the show. Hang on while it's a good show when the battery goes dead. I like to spend my time because I feel like it's genuine, right? Especially on the lives. I never like to rush through a show, and even if there's mistakes or tech issues in real time. I like when people see that, because it feels like it's no bullshit when it's on live, right?
Oh yeah, no, you can't script everything. You have to like prepare for the unexpected and like just keep it real, keep it 100 with yourself and with everybody else.
So I want to wish you guys. Well, I mean, I'm going to be following, right? But I see only the best for you guys, the future, man. I mean,
Thank you.
You guys are killing it, and I look forward to each and every update. When you dropped the video game, I was just like, "That's it!" Like these guys.
Yeah, it's good. I'm so excited about that. Like my eyes, you probably saw. Like, I light up when we talk about the video game. I'm so proud of where we're at, and like every person I show it to, they're like, "Yo, this actually looks good. This doesn't look like some like garage crap that you slap together. It actually looks good." I'm like, I know. Like we got a lot of people working on this. Like this is looking like. Yeah, it's good.
Bro, you guys are in the zone right now.
Yeah, we're in the zone. Definitely in our happy place for sure.
The best part about it is that you did it through a bear,
right? Like,
Yeah, that's right.
all right, man. I'm gonna close out the show. You are free to bounce if you want. But I just want to say thank you for your time. I hope everybody. I'm gonna drop it back to the computer when I play the song. I'm gonna thank everybody for saying hello and dropping in the box. But you probably got a lot of comments in there. You might want to jump over there and. Even if you get dropped from the call now, it won't matter. But you might want to drop in there and just answer some guys. But yeah, you got a lot of love in there, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, great show, Raf. Look forward
Yeah,
to
thanks for the chat and the conversation. I
Yeah,
appreciate
bro.
appreciate you and your platform, Mark.
Yeah, man. Anytime, man. I can't wait to get you guys back. I think the future's going to be super bright for you guys. Great team, great conversation. Thank you, Raf.
Thank you.
All
Have a
right.
great one, Mark.
All right, guys. So that's it. That was a kid called Beast. I can't tell you guys how long I worked on getting that show. But I was super excited today, and I wasn't taking no for an answer. We needed to do this show. I felt like it had to happen. I've been watching these guys for a very long time. Been in, you guys know how long I've been in the space. We always talk in spaces and hang on. Let me. Oh, okay, he dropped. All right. Did he drop? No, hang on. Let me make sure. Okay. Yeah, you guys know how long I've been in space. You guys know what I say in spaces and what I believe in. And this project is 100. It's got everything from A to Z. I think you heard me say enough, but I'm a guy that I like quality. I like details, right? The devil is in the details. I think success is in the details. And every little meticulous thing these guys do, I pay attention to. I was so excited to do this show. So I only wish these guys the best. And I'm so happy that this show happened. I was worried that it wasn't going to happen, but I want to say thank you to Rafsby for having faith and trust and pushing through and finding a way to make this show happen. Hopefully I did you guys some justice, and I couldn't wait to get you guys on. So on that note, I hope everybody enjoyed the show totonight. I was excited to do this show. I've been fiending to get these guys on now for a long time. Yeah. Well, so I want to welcome a kid called Beast to an Hour of Power, to the Hour of Power family. I appreciate all you guys jumping in. I'm going to come over to the box and give all you guys shout outs in a second. On that note, yeah, what else do I want to say? Okay. For the rest of this week, I don't think we got an AI show on Wednesday. But we do have a community show. We have AEW, Pantea, and Art East Women Community. We have that on Wednesday. We also, big shout out to Echo Coin. Josh, you guys know Josh. He's been on the show, I think 2 or 3 times. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for Josh, the show wouldn't look and sound as good as it does. But he has also, the way I met Josh was... he jumped into a room with a friend of mine named Mongoose, and he pitched his project, which was a super futuristic, just a very high-tech cat shelter where it's just cat shelter, dog shelter, and now he has launched Echo Coin for the Echo Tracker, and Echo is his blind cat that has inspired all of this. He's a huge animal guy and just all around really good guy. So big shout out to him. And I think we're going to do a show, maybe like an hour show. It might be Friday. I'm not sure yet. So we had a little difficulty with the show on Friday, so I'm still trying to figure that out. So hang in there for that. I'll announce the guest on Friday, but expect Josh, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Echo Tracker this week as well. So we might do a little update show somewhere along the line, a quick hour. Other than that, I think that's about it this week. So that's Monday for y'all. I want to wish all you guys a very good week, very positive week. Stay up, stay positive. And I want to thank everybody for joining HOP tonight and being part of the show. Yeah, man. Once again, big shout out to Kid Called Beast and Rafsby for coming on the show, and the whole team over there. You guys are crushing it, and don't change a thing, really. Stick with that formula because it's working. You guys caught my attention, and it takes a lot to catch my attention. So, yeah, but I don't need to tell you guys that. You guys already seem to know. On that note, I'm going to give you guys some shout-outs. Hang on one second while I re-rig everything. And I want to make sure that I get this website up. Where are you guys? Let's see. Man, I really enjoyed that show. Listen, guys, I know we do artists a lot, but PFP projects, this is our second, right? We had Rococo, which was a great project, PFP project, and now we have Kid Called Beast, which started as a PFP project, but so much more. There's art in a lot of things, guys. Not just artists, but look at this. I mean, these guys, everything that these guys done, killer. From top to bottom. Yeah. So on that note, let me give some shout. Prism, giving you a shout out. Nice to see you in the box. Josh. What's going on? Josh, we talked about this show. You knew how excited I was about getting these guys on, but I'll see you in a little bit, Josh, with the Echo coin. Meme, thank you. Oh, and Meme, thank you very much for getting me those links. I wanted to show that box so bad, and I couldn't find it, and I didn't want to sit here scrolling through thousands of things. So I appreciate you hooking me up with the links. Juan, big shout out to Juan. Make, shout out to Make out there. Shim, thanks for stopping in. Echo Cat, thanks for stopping in. There he is, Echo Cat. Very good project right there. Very good. Just good energy right there. Big coin launch this week, so that's going to be a little bit of an interesting show. Let's see, we got Meme, Juan, Echo, Make, Prism, Echo. Who else we miss? We miss anybody? Joey, shout out to Joey. Thank you for stopping in. All right, guys, that's all of y'all, right? I think I got everybody. You're very welcome, guys. Listen, when it's great art, when it's a great project, when it's a great anything, it's an easy show for me, right? So, once again, shout out to you guys over at Kid Called Beast. You're doing a great job, and keep it up. On that note, guys, I want to say goodnight, and we're gonna go out on the Beast music here. Let's see. Let me bring this all up. I got everything? Yeah, I got everything. There we go. All right, guys. I want you all to have a great night, and we'll see you on the next show.
We come together to be alive. We come together to make it fun. Turn the beast when it come to mine. Elevation got my mind racing, trying to break them chains, no stagnation. More power to you when you like me. Go to chain, no man shaking. I'm a new creation, man, it's all ready. Living last, no holding back. White, brown, tan, all the black. Who's live where the heart is at? Man, it's a part of my nature. I'm a beast by nature. Take a chance on yourself. You never know where it's gonna take you. Turned up to the supermax, I just keep rising till the moon collapse and the planet stops saying once I'm gone. Ain't no way I'm ever coming back. Turned up to the supermax, I just keep rising till the moon collapse and the planet stops saying once I'm gone. Ain't no way I'm ever coming back.
This is the Maximum Class 7 local train. The next stop is Hunters Point Avenue.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
We come together to be alive. We come together to make it fun. Turn the beast when it come to mine. Elevation got my mind racing, trying to break them chains, no stagnation. More power to you when you're like me. Gold chain, no mass spacing. I'm a new creation, man, it's all in me. Free at last, no holding back. White, brown, tan, dark, or black. Whose lives with a heart attack? Man, it's a part of my nature. I'm a beast by nature. Take a chance on yourself. You never know where it's gonna take you. Turned up to the supermax. I just keep rising till the moon collapses and the planet stops saying once I'm gone. Ain't no way I'm ever coming
Doggy
back.
dog and Dr. Dre is better than dope. Ready to make
Rising till the moon collapses and the planet stops saying once I'm gone. Ain't no way I'm ever coming back.
This is a maximum class 7 local train. The next stop is Huntersport Avenue.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
You cannot alter my state of mind. We come together to be alive. We come together to make it fun. Turn the beast when it come to mine. Elevation got my mind racing, trying to break them chains, no stagnation. More power to you when you're like me. Gold chain, all mass spacing. I'm a new creation, man, it's all in me. Free at last, no holding back. White, brown, tan, dark, or black. Whose lives with a heart attack?
Thank you all for
Man,
tuning
it's
in.
part of my nature.
See you guys
I'm a
next
beast
show.
by nature. Take a chance on yourself. You never know where it's gonna take you. Turned up to the supermax. I just keep rising till the moon collapses and the planet stops saying once I'm gone. Ain't no way I'm ever coming back. Turned up to the supermax. I just keep rising till the moon collapses and the planet stops saying once I'm gone. Ain't no way I'm ever coming back.
Good night, y'all.
This is a maximum class
See everyone
7
on the next
local
show.
train. The next stop
Peace. That was a damn good show.